according to this, we're live. Alright.
Oh, you're live.
Yeah, double check our YouTube to make the sounds. Make sure the sound is coming through properly, because if we have the same issues we did last time,
it would not be a fun time.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, I think Ezra's.
Hold on, I think
Ezra's double checking us on his laptop.
Okay, I think my volume on here for some reason is being weird.
Hello there. Some people are cosplaying.
Some people are cosplaying.
Oh yeah, they do that every week because they're awesome.
Wait, what?
He's talking about you.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm going through.
Testing.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
Testing. Yeah, that's good.
Okay, we got good audio. John, are you there yet?
It's a bit quiet though.
All right, Carl. Your character is from a different region of the world, so in case you did not do it yet, you may add 3 stat points to either charisma or stealth, as you choose, as part of your regional background, because you're from the Eskimo land.
He's an Eskimo? That's why it explains he's so
It's
pale.
the frozen wastes. He's pale.
Like, that explains why he's so pale.
He's so cold, man.
Okay.
His heart is hard.
Okay. So,
I mean, you can have more of that
as
pizza.
part of the
can't eat a
introduction of new characters, I'm gonna close YouTube and close that. You guys can stop watching.
I'm not watching.
I'm not
on
watching
your streams now.
I'm not watching either.
Okay, that's fine. There are 2 people that are watching, so hello to
Probably
you 2
just-
people that are
Probably
watching.
hasn't updated yet. But
It
not watching.
probably hasn't, but hello to you folks who are watching. If you are, if you aren't, that's fine too. In the meantime,
Can I do my spiel?
give us a minute. We've already been live for a few minutes, so the good morning everyone shouting in your ears and making everyone's like eardrums bleed.
Well,
is
we were
over.
just doing checks. I want to do my little spiel.
Okay.
You have to putting a
Can you-
headphone.
Do your spiel while I try to find
Yes! Hello, everybody. This is Lord Ross, my good boy.
the narrator.
The narrator, and then Monroe over here. As you all know, we just got back from the future.
Keep going. Keep going.
You're gonna correct me?
No, you're good. Go.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, you're good. You forgot a character, but technically he's not introduced yet, so stop laughing, Ezra. You can't laugh anymore. You can't be on the stream until we're done and introducing your character.
We have another person joining us today on Discord, Ezra.
And John.
And
actually.
John, but John is late, and he'll be joining us later today. As you all know, we just got back from Lord Monroe. Coming back from the future.
No, he's not a lord.
I know.
That's
I don't know why I
not
call
a
him
lord.
Yeah, he's just Monroe.
I wanted to talk about myself. It's just Monroe got back from the future. Unfortunately, for my mistake, because when we sent him to the future, we were already past the point where I was on my way to Tetlin, but on my error, I sent him back to where he's just being poked in the face, being woken up before me. Which I honestly want to try to do a roll to see if I can wake up sometime
I literally thought
beforehand.
You already left and we were about to leave.
No, he
I
sent you
it
back in
to where
time
you're waking
farther.
up. I messed up.
The advantages of being the DM.
You can't change that now, huh?
No, because
That
I've already said it.
Ezra, you may speak now.
You shall not speak. No.
Where the heck is your player backstory?
That is in Discord.
It's in Discord.
Yes, I put that in your...
Oh, you messaged it to me in Discord. Okay, give me a
Yes.
second. Friends. Tier loaner. Okay. Document X. Okay. So, we will be introducing a new character tonight, so I'll give him a quick read down of his 1.5-page long backstory.
Jesus.
No, don't worry. It's written in like 13, 14 font, so it's not that bad. But this is Fred Barnaby, going to be joining the campaign shortly.
Ah, the good old Fred Barnaby.
Born out of wealthy nobility, Fred Barnaby was raised in the high life of country and well cultured. As a youth, he loved to traverse the rolling hills or rolling country behind his family's estate and on his noble steed. The sights and smells of nature were particularly attractive to him and served as his escape from the library of textbooks he was often encumbered with. So he doesn't like reading. Man, you could get along well with him.
The problem is I can't read.
He doesn't like to read. He can't read. How will it work out?
One day, as he was riding through the country, he saw this most horrific sight, an angry cow trampling down a poor helpless chicken. The sight scared Fred so much that now the mere smell of milk or leather makes him uneasy.
Lovely.
Later, when he was but
That's bad because I wear leather.
Later, when he was but 18, he espied himself a beautiful young lady. The two hit it off very well together and swore a solemn oath of undying love for one another.
Until she killed him.
What neither of them realized was that she was the daughter of nobility that owned the cow, and his poor family owned the chicken that he had witnessed the death of. This particularly enraged both families, but it was Fred's that was the stricter and threw him out of the house. Oh, Jack and Romeo and Juliet here, dude! Over a chicken! All I can hear now is chicken attack. Chicken attack. I can't do it.
Continue.
Armed with only his grandfather's rapier, he traveled the land in search of adventure.
Oh, he's a rapier like me.
Yes, he does.
Severing's probably better.
We're going to. Oh, okay. We do need to introduce some of this. On one such adventure led him to a bar where he was minding his own business. Right. Sure, we'll go with that. As he sat at the table learning how to play cards, an evil trainer, along with his two dogs, burst into the building in search of a man. This man who just so happened to be the one teaching Fred cards. As soon as he stood up, the trainer released the hounds, and the poor man was brutally mauled. Enraged, Fred took up the cards in hand and threw them at the trainer. To his amazement, they not only dealt damage, but slashed the trainer's face so much he ran out of the bar, weeping that his beautiful but actually very ugly face had been defiled. Realizing that the deck was no ordinary deck, he took it and made it his own. Well, the guy was dead, so why didn't you search his pockets at the same time, you know? He always takes time to go out and court his love every now and again by taking her along on some of his adventures. I see another NPC girlfriend occurring. On one of those occasions, while the couple were riding in the country, an angry bull charging... Wait, we got a typo. An angry bull came charging at them. Fred was immediately paralyzed in fear of the creature, but his fiancée was brave. She was so brave that she was able to calm the bull with such skill and ease that it died in sheer amazement.
What?
Okay, this girl's got some skills. She rolled a quit 20 like twice in a row on that one. She took the bull's skin and had it made into Fred's signature bullwhip. Simply wearing it at his side gives him confidence because of his lovely fair maiden. So we have a card-throwing, bullwhip-snapping, rapier-wearing coward of cows. Named Barnaby. Okay, so that being said, I don't know if John is back yet, but he can just say hi when he is, if he ever shows up. Otherwise, Bad Joke Bob is just going to sit in the background in Discord and not actually do anything. Okay, so that being said, our story picks up in the morning. What?
I want to see. I asked if I can roll to see if I can get up sometime before.
I gotta get my dice too.
I probably failed.
You can? Carl, would you please roll a d6, take a +2?
Why?
Because he's got an old man waking him up by poking him with a stick.
Fine.
Oh, you better roll high.
I know! I fucked.
You rolled a 6.
It's a 6.
I rolled a 6.
You wake up before you die. Okay, so you're going to be 2 hours late waking up. Okay, so as our story begins, Monroe Carl.
Oh.
Your middle name we're just gonna say is Carl. Monroe Carl Monroe. I don't know. We're just calling Carl.
No.
Monroe.
Monroe.
Monroe the Carl.
Hi. You wake
What's
up
your last name?
curled up in your pillows and blankets
Being poked
by
in
being
the face.
poked in the face with an old man stick. Imagine a gnarled, over-looking Schmeagol-like character, but more like Yoda's voice and, you know, his stick. Poking you in the face. Wake up! Wake up! What are you going to do?
It's all this again.
Yes. Did you go back and watch the last stream?
I don't think I have yet, no.
Okay. I don't know why I can't think of anything. Wow.
Literally poking you in the face. What would you do if I was hunched over the headboard of your bed in the morning, poking you with a stick?
I'd probably, like, get the fuck off me and probably kick in the balls if I could.
Well, you got an old version of me with a stick poking you in the face.
A lot tinier.
I'm just gonna say.
Yeah, kind of.
I'm just gonna be like.
I mean, height.
Watch the eyes.
I'm just gonna say
Oh,
stop.
John's here. Yay. Okay.
What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna. Okay, I'm just going back to sleep.
We'll introduce you in a
You're
second.
gonna go back to sleep?
No. I'm gonna tell
Just
him
take
to
a
stop.
quick moment, and you got your stat sheet, right? John. Okay, he said hi, and then he was gone. Okay, whatever. So,
Yeah, I'm just gonna grab the stick and say stop.
okay, you're gonna grab his stick and say stop. Okay, the old man, he fights you for the stick for a couple seconds. Roll a strength check. Take a +5.
9.
Okay. You are barely able to wrench his stick away. He falls over on top of you, rolls over the bed, and onto the floor. He is now on the floor. You've got his stick. What are you going to do?
I'm gonna help him up and give him his stick back.
Okay, so you crawl out of bed. Do you wear, like, the long nightgown thing, or you just... How do you dress at night? Or do you always wear your signature Captain Hook outfit, even when you're sleeping?
What else do I have to wear? I guess I'll be wearing the wow.
Actually,
Your
technically,
underwear?
back in those days, a lot of people actually wore their shirt as their nightshirt as well. They just put their clothes over top of it and tucked it in. Okay, so you're standing there, your shirt, nothing else on, holding
Yeah,
a stick.
I totally
help
don't
him
have any pants on.
up. Okay. That being said, you're standing over top of him. You help him back up. You give him his stick back. He's standing there. He's like, "Well, that was unnecessary." And he grabs his stick and he leans over on it. He's like, looks up and he's like, "Well, are you awake now?"
No, I'm asleep.
He takes his stick and swings it up hard at your nuts quick.
That was a joke, but okay.
Roll a dexterity save.
Another 9.
He hit you square in the nuts. You are now stunned. Roll a regular percentage die, or roll a percentage.
93.
Okay, you are not knocked down. You're just stunned.
Oh.
Ooh.
It's like, now are you awake?
Yes.
Okay. Breakfast is ready. I'll see you downstairs. I have a quest for you. And don't be late. Good morning, ma'am. And he turns over to Leona sitting here in the bed watching this whole thing, kind of snickering at herself.
I forgot about her because I've been the last few weeks. It's been.
She's not been here.
Yeah.
So she's just sitting in bed watching this whole thing, watching you get beaten by this old man with a stick, and she's just sitting here laughing at you.
Of course.
The old man hobbles like Yoda did out of the building. He's not as short as Yoda though. Imagine him to be like maybe another 1.5 feet taller, just because he's hunched over.
Okay.
But he opens the door, leaves it hanging wide open, and hobbles away.
He's basically old, shriveled up Quasimodo, right?
Pretty much, yeah. Old shriveled up Quasimodo. John, are you back yet?
Wake me up before you go. I wanna leave this fucking castle.
So I actually remember everything, huh?
Yes, you do.
You remember pretty much everything that happened in the last 3 weeks of campaign. Yes.
Don't forget about the
So I know
bracelet
he's
he's
gonna.
wearing.
What was the bracelet doing?
It was
again?
it was a claw. It was a demon claw.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you have a demon claw, and that's what gives you your memories. You take it off, or you lose it. You lose all your memories. Of
Oh,
that
lovely.
Event. So you might want to add that to your, inventory
And
as
it's
a reminder.
bracelet.
So it is a bracelet. It does not give you any stats, but it adds to your memory of those 3 weeks of campaign. You lose it, you lose those memories. Thank you for reminding me to target that.
I mean, he's supposed to, unless you would have just
Oh.
given it to him.
And also as well, I forgot to do this, but as a result of your 3 weeks of campaign time and your memories that you took, you may take another 35 experience points from that. So you'll gain 3.5 levels, depending on where your XP is currently. You may disperse those stats accordingly.
Okay.
And what level will you hit at that point?
I'll be at 77 now.
77, so you won't get another skill point, though.
He's 2 levels ahead of me.
It's fine, though. You'll be fine. It's only 20 XP. You're the tank of the group. You'll be fine.
That's a single teardrop drops.
Anyway.
He's stronger than me.
Anywho, that being said, we're going to go to Barnaby. We're just going to call you Barnaby. Barnaby, as you're strolling across the open fields early in the twilight, or early in the rising sunrise
I'm not
of the
gonna
morning,
spend my stat points yet.
you're looking down at a paper that says "Adventurers Wanted" with the face of a swashbuckler, a warrior with a straw hat, and a couple cute-looking girls on the front of it. And it says, "Apply to such and such a castle outside of Central City." And you look up in the distance, and there is almost a perfect depiction on the page of the castle you're looking at.
What's our castle's name?
Okay.
We never
Doesn't have a name.
Genius, I drew that drawing little. Oh,
No.
Yes.
No!
Yes.
All right,
Just because you have an obsession.
we are actually trying to listen to what Barnaby has to say here.
No, I'm kidding.
Okay, so Barnaby, you are looking at the page. You realize that it is the castle that you're looking at, and you're looking to go apply to become an adventurer with this guild.
Yeah.
No.
No.
That's why I went to him before you. So, are you going to approach the castle or what?
No.
You're not going to approach
What?
the castle.
I am going to approach the castle, but I'm not going to do so in a conventional manner.
Okay. How are we approaching the castle then?
I'm going to approach the castle, and I'm going to attempt to scale the walls.
Okay. You do not have a climbing skill. Do you have any stats that gain you, like your whip or anything that gain you hold or anything like that?
Do I have any skills to do that?
Do you have any abilities on your whip or something? I can't remember if your whip allows you to grapple with surfaces or anything.
I do not remember.
Okay, so if you do something that you don't have a skill for, it automatically subtracts half of your roll from that skill.
Oh, okay.
So go ahead and roll a d20 and use an agility test.
Oh, I
That's
need
an
to add-
agility test. Okay.
Yeah, and what's your agility sitting at right now?
24.
24. Okay, you have a really good agility.
What level is he?
He actually started out with some pretty good equipment.
20. I have a nat 20.
Okay, so come on in, Sam.
Open the door!
Okay, Sam just arrived. We're just getting started here with one of the other characters' introduction. There's a chair. You can sit at either end of the table over there. We are live, so say hi to the stream.
Hello.
Got camera there. And we got, if you do need to vape and take a break,
Outside,
Got the
of course.
sweet.
Quick question. Do you have a place to plug in, by chance?
Right under there, or the strip literally underneath the chair there. So,
Yeah.
if you want to avoid the strip, you can go ahead and move the chair over to Ezra's side, or however you want to do it.
Alright, and on the way here, like, I literally walked up to the door, and I almost turned around because I forgot the notebook.
Oh, okay. You're the chemist, right?
Yeah.
Ezra, do you have the base stats for the chemist?
Why are you calling him Ezra?
Carl. I can keep. Ezra's in Discord. I'm sorry. Okay. 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 So you are literally sliced in half. You can move another foot that way, another foot that way, and then people can see you.
What?
What's up, bud?
I just got sliced in half.
It was Sam. It was Sam.
Oh. My condolences.
My condolences.
Okay. So there we go. We're good. Okay. Alright, so Barnaby, you approach the castle. The gates are closed at this time in the morning, and even though there is a gaping hole on the side of the wall, which could let people just walk right in, you decide to scale the walls. They are about 40 feet high, but your agility is allowed to you to gain hold on the outside of the wall, and that along with your bullwhip and the age of the walls and everything, you were able to scale the outside of the wall. Take a strength check to see if you can keep hold halfway up.
There's meat lovers pizza with stuffed crust.
9 and my strength is 7.
9 and 7. Okay, you go ahead and succeed. You succeed, and you're able to climb all the rest of the way up. You are now perched on the wall. There are towers extending from the wall next to you and such. You get a higher perch, but now you're looking down into the courtyard. Roll a d10, just a regular d10, not the zeros through hundreds.
Oh, here it is.
Sauce from the pizza, probably.
No, it's jelly, man.
2.
You rolled 2? Well, congratulations, so did I. As you look down into the courtyard underneath of you, you see what looks like, at first, a giant pile of laundry. But you realize it's a sleeping, small giant. Take a resistance check.
8.
8? Oh my word, we're tying tonight like crazy. Okay, you are not struck with fear, but you are wondering why the heck there is a giant in the courtyard of this building. And with the wall busted through, you're wondering maybe that they just got, sieged, but you're not sure. Alright, that being said, since we don't have John here to roleplay right now...
Test, I'm here.
Oh, thank goodness he arrived. Okay.
I was gonna say, I set him up with Discord on his PC, so he should be here.
Yeah, he was just... Okay, you got your stat sheet there?
Me?
Yeah, John.
Yeah.
Okay, we are going to go ahead. Did you have the CTAG base stats and skills Excel sheet on your computer still?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you mind letting him read that, and you can build a base chemist character?
Yeah.
And then, since you're from the jungle, you may automatically choose... Where's my notebook? Agility or dexterity, and you can disperse 3 stat points across agility or dexterity.
Alright, there's both of them then, right? So the question becomes, firing an arrow.
That is going to be a precision aim. You do not... Okay, there's aim, there's melee precision, range precision. You're not going to have much for aim, it's just going to be base roll since you started out as a level 0 character. You did have some skill points, but I don't think any of your team had leveled up yet at all.
Would that be the same with throwing a potion?
Yes, pretty much any kind of range, you're going to want to try to put skill points as you get them into your ranged attacks.
Okay.
Your precision specifically.
So the new skills is agility and...
Agility, melee precision, and ranged precision. So those are new stats. Otherwise, you can go off the CTAG Excel sheet that I gave him to set up your character, and then as soon as you're done, we'll start role-playing you into the story.
Got it.
So, Barnaby, we're going to go back to you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can still hear you.
Okay. I did say Barnaby, right?
You said Barnaby.
Okay. Alright, so Barnaby, you are perched on top of the building looking down at a giant sleeping in the courtyard. He's a smaller giant, maybe a runt, but still a giant. You notice some people moving around in the courtyard. But, he,
was going to San Diego.
Hey, Joe.
Oh, hey there, John.
You were telling me last time you were here that our stats have changed.
Yes. There's melee precision, ranged precision, and agility. If you are, we'll get this figured out quick. We haven't played with these guys in a long time, guys. So
Yeah, it's been a hot minute since
It's
we
okay
played.
right now. I just want to let you know that my stats have still not been updated. We can carry on and I can fix it later.
your agility stat will be 2. Your melee precision will be 1, but the range precision will be 0. And aim is no longer a skill or stat.
Understood.
All right. That being said,
That's because it's a messenger.
Okay,
Chemist.
so there are people in the courtyard.
Give me 1 second. You do not get any base precision or agility, so the new stats you start at 0 for your class. Because you're not an athletic class.
0, 0, 0, 0, 0.
Alright. Do you have any agility?
Yeah. I got 5 agility.
Okay, cool.
So you're talking about this thing, right?
Why are you saying that
Go
to
back
me?
to
that
the
makes me
class
kind of worried
list
that you're
and
gonna do
highlight
something
the
to me
chemist
now.
class so
No,
we
I'm
can-
going to be using you
And
as
did
like
you say
my
strength
thrower.
was also 0?
That's
strength.
aim precision for a thrower.
Oh, I
Agility
see.
is more like for jumping over
For the monk,
Oh, okay. Well, you could like jump and throw.
strength you're gonna be 2.
Okay, fine. Do you have any precision?
I have 3 aim precision, but I have
You got
10,
everything else you need, John?
melee precision. Because I'm a warrior.
Yeah.
I'm a knight. I use
You're on
swords,
push to
not
talk,
bows.
so.
Push to talk?
Okay. All right. So we're gonna go back to Ezra, since John isn't responding. That's okay.
Probably.
Wait,
You're looking down into the courtyard. You start seeing some people moving around in the morning. You start noticing there are actually groups of adventurers just sleeping against the walls in
top
some
line.
spaces,
You'll make that.
and it's just everybody's
So you
just
just-
kind of haphazard,
You
just
just have
kind of
vitality and
mixed
just gonna
up.
go down.
and there's
You're
like
gonna-
hardly any like organization to anything that's going on down there.
Yeah.
What will you do?
So, if I get this right, I have towers on either side of me, and there's the courtyard, and I'm right above a sleeping half giant. And is there a building between the wall and that? Is he between the building and the wall, or is he just in the courtyard? I'm a little confused on that.
Okay, so the courtyard is imagine the outer wall. Imagine the shape of Minas Tirith. The outer wall slowly moves into the main castle itself because of the moat and the way the land outside is.
Okay.
So the outer wall is kind of like a crescent moon that wraps around. The courtyard is the crescent moon. And the sleeping giant is at the bottom corner of the crescent moon to your right. And the towers, there are 2 towers, and they are to your left, and then there are towers coming out of the castle itself to the right on the other side of the giant. And then people are moving around and waking up in the courtyard below.
But he's right between the castle and the wall.
He is, but you could run along the wall and approach the castle itself and scale the castle walls.
Sorry, come again? You're breaking up.
You could run along the castle walls and eventually get to the castle itself, where there is a door, maybe locked, may not, or you could scale the walls of the castle itself without approaching the giant at all.
I think I'm going to continue to scale the walls. It's a nice place for it.
Okay, so you run along the walls. There's actually a guard standing there that you don't notice until the last second because he's perched in between the archers' in
What the
between the
heck?
archers, the stones that the archers shoot through, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You don't notice him until you're literally walking past him, and he turns and looks at you, and he's got his spear out, and he's like, "Good morning." Turns back and keeps watching. Doesn't care,
Good morning.
and you keep walking along. So, I mean, you're gonna scale the castle wall now?
It's just kind of normal here.
They don't care. It's like, that's normal.
You gotta remember, everyone here is new, so automatically, if you're on the wall or in the building, everybody automatically assumes that you're one of the new adventurers in the guild. Plus, he wears blues and browns, so he doesn't look like your typical rogue. So, but anyway, he says good morning, and you're gonna actually scale the wall now? Okay, roll the d20, and take a half off that.
We need to have guards to say.
12.
Okay, unfortunately, this wall is well kept compared to the outer walls, and it's much better built. It is far too slippery for you to grab hold of anything on this wall.
Okay. Well, in that case,
Can you shake that picture?
what are my other options? I can either.
There is a door in front of you.
Oh, well, I walk up to the door.
Okay, you're at the door.
Is there a buzzer?
Knowledge.
There is not a buzzer.
So, no. What
What
about knowledge?
kind of person would have a door but no means to summon
Regular
a
levels.
butler have a knocker on?
It does have a knocker on it, yes, John.
But a knocker?
Or you guys were like level 3.
I'm sorry.
I think we were
They're in the
like,
70s.
we're in the 70s now.
But you'll be fine. This game is a lot more lenient than D&D.
Yeah.
Just stay behind him.
fuck's wrong with you?
On the door with the
My name's
Okay,
Jack
so
Dahmer.
whale on the door with the knocker.
Oh, fuck.
As okay, so from
Two
here,
serial killers.
from here,
Jack the Ripper and Jeff Dahmer.
yeah, both messed up people. That being said, Carl, as you're getting dressed, okay? As you're getting dressed and you're walking out into the hallway, Leona decided to roll back over and go to sleep for some reason. She just didn't want to wake up. Do you want to try to wake her up more? Or, she just... Okay,
You want to
she's
go
gonna...
over and
Try to keep this rated PG, please.
never.
Okay, that being said, she rolls over and she goes back to sleep. As you're walking out the door, the end of the hallway is to your left, about 30 yards away, and there is a door. And you suddenly hear chunk, 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 chunk on the door.
Oh dear.
No one
I have
else is
no
standing
idea.
in the hallway. Will you go and answer the door?
Do I know where the door leads, or it's just like...
It leads to the outer walls, but you've never been out there. So, roll a d20 on a knowledge check. Take half of whatever that is.
10?
10
Do I
plus
get...
your knowledge.
Okay, so 20, 30?
20, 30. Well,
15?
so you hit a 30?
So, yeah,
You
so
hit
30 in total,
Okay,
and then...
you don't realize that it goes to the outer wall, unfortunately, because I rolled so high.
Okay.
But, there's someone knocking at the door.
Found it.
You're the only one nearby.
Walmart today. But them two bought it for me.
I'm gonna...
Oh. I found out
I'm
where
gonna
you guys
approach
got
the
this
door,
Okay.
and how much it cost.
and I'm gonna be prepared for... I guess you never know, but...
You never know. You gotta remember that Carl Monroe is our introvert. He doesn't do well with people. Unless they're hot apprentice chicks that he wants to hit on.
Wow.
Okay, that being said, there is a slider in the door to open up and look outside. You can, slide it to see who's outside.
I'll open that up.
Okay, he opens it up. Ezra, you hear someone messing with the latch on the slider to open it up. Are you going to stand aside, or are you going to let him see who's outside?
I'm going to stick my eyeballs directly into the socket and wake it up with all you see.
Okay, so as you slide open the socket, just like Robin Williams, imagine Robin Williams, his nose right up against there, and he's looking up over the socket at you.
There needs to be a song playing.
ain't
You
never
look
gonna
at
be
me,
like
and I look at him.
And he looks at me, and I look at him. Okay. Okay. So what are you going to do, Carl? All you can see is this little face with eyeballs and the nose sticking up over the edge.
Could I help you?
The password.
What is the password?
You see, I got this advertisement in the middle of some field, and it said that you're looking for adventurers.
Ah,
He
yes.
holds up the paper, and you see your picture with Leona and Thane and his girlfriend all pasted on the front of the picture. This is actually the first time you've ever seen the picture. And
You're like,
your
"Damn,
hair
I
is a
thought."
mess
Oh.
in the
Oh,
picture.
come on.
As opposed to what you usually expect it to look like, and your nose is too big. Roll a d20 to be, whether or not you're pissed off at the picture.
12.
You're totally pissed off that the picture is... It's totally wrong. It's totally wrong and it's messing with your head. It's not mine. It's my roommate's.
Well, I open the door and I
Jelly about what?
greet him. Ask him what
Okay.
his name is.
So he opens up the door. He's acting like a bit of an introvert. You gotta remember, you gotta speak to the microphone because Ezra's on the other side too.
Hello.
That's Thane trying to weird you out. But anyway, Carl opens up the door as an introvert does, and asks you your name.
My name is Fred Barnaby of the Noble House.
That's a butter.
Of the noble house.
The Barnaby
Yes, of Barnaby.
Oh, okay.
Have I heard of them?
Roll a knowledge check. Take a +5.
I rolled a 5.
10.
I rolled a 4, so congratulations. These people are really well known.
Ah.
They're known for their chicken exporting.
Did they cross the road?
And I love my chicken. No.
Okay.
Oh,
So the Barnaby Chicken Corporation is actually quite the export business. They sell hundreds of chickens, thousands of chickens all over the known world.
And they
So
got
they do
upset about
cross
one
the
chicken.
It was their prized breeding chicken.
Okay.
They're trying to make
So-
loopholes in my story.
He was a real chick man.
So, I say, oh, welcome. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Slide the door closed. Ah, who knows?
I've already opened the door and let him in.
Oh.
Okay. So as he approaches into the room, you notice he's dressed very much like a rogue, very similar to your style, but instead of the tails, it's just a long trench coat, all black, made out of silk, just like your jacket is.
Are you
he's
a
wearing-
duplicate?
Hush. And he's wearing a sailor's tri-top hat. Tricorn.
Okay. Yeah.
Tricorn.
It's also got a big feather sticking out of it,
Woo, we can be buddies.
I think,
Okay.
right? You have a big feather, right, Ezra?
Yeah.
Okay.
Gigantic white
Ooh.
plumage.
So he also has the big white plumage, and he's wearing brown boots and blue pants.
Big
blue
white
shirt.
feather?
That's like number one thing. You have to have a big feather to be my friend.
What?
Tickle.
I just need to put giant text on this.
He has a
PG
big feather like my dad.
13 plus 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 plus.
With the joke I just made, that's kind of fairly into it. I said, I have a big white feather too, but I don't brag about it. And then he comes out, tickle, tickle, and I'm like, I'm thinking the wrong things. I need to stop for a second.
I need, instead of PG-13 plus, I need PG-13 to the power of 2.
Okay, let's keep rolling. Let's keep
Okay.
rolling.
You're still asleep. Be
Yes,
quiet.
I know. I want to wake up.
Okay. That being said, as this is going on, you, John, are you still there?
Yes.
Okay. Finally. Okay. So we got our stuff going. You got your stat sheet ready?
Yep.
You still have a crossbow with explosive arrows. You got that written down. You remember?
I'll write it down real quick.
Okay. Take your crossbow. It 1 action point to reload. The explosive arrows deal a base damage of 30 plus roll for explosive knockback. You can just write that down because that's one of the things we had to remember. John, you still got all the stats for your items and whatnot?
It's precision on aim, by the way.
Yeah, it's aim precision to roll for a shot with that.
Okay.
But anyway, John, you and Jack. John, what? Your character's name was John Ryadock, right? Or what was your character's name? John?
It's John.
It's John. Okay, so John and Jack. Instead of Jack and Jill, it's Jack and John. Oh dear. Jack and John, you are also walking across the field holding the paper that has been described, and you are walking across the field. You got your crossbow on your back. At this point, it's been some time passage. So you also carry a staff. Take a plus 2 melee precision with that, and a plus 3 strength with that.
I might have a word from my master.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm looking at Jack when I say this, not John. I'm sorry. I'm bad with names.
Right.
Okay, I called Carl Ezra earlier.
Casually walking through open fields.
Okay, a lot of these people, it's just all these people are converging at this one point.
I am going to take a nap.
Okay. That being said,
What?
John,
It's a
actual
convergence.
John, you also have shin blockers. Give them the same stats as your bracers, with a plus 2 to melee precision.
He's got the red ropes.
And they were also made by your friend Bam Bam.
He could become fires.
So we'll give you that because time passes.
Have I gotten word back from my master?
You have not, and you are actually a little confused by that because it's been a while and you've heard no word.
I've heard from the master. He wants you to serve me.
Bless you.
Sorry, we're allergic to gay people here. I'm kidding.
What?
He was making a joke and he sneezed. So I'm joking. Okay. That being said, you're walking across the field holding this advertisement, and you are also approaching the castle. Seeing as the main leader of your group died recently, you're looking for adventure elsewhere, and there is a new guild that has been set up in Central Go. And you are now approaching their castle. What will you do?
One major question.
Yes.
About how much time has passed?
We're gonna say it's been about as much time as passed. Let's see, it's been what? It's been about 3 weeks, give or take.
3 weeks?
Yep, about 3 weeks.
Alright.
Hey Joe, did I get my money back for sending that message since I haven't got a message back?
No.
So, given about a week from now, or hold on, the previous guild, right? Did you say that?
No, previous leader of your group, your party.
Oh, okay.
Bam, he died.
Got it. So,
He's dead.
it's been about 3
He
weeks.
went bam bam.
We're looking at about maybe a week and a half
Mhm.
for the 3 reservoirs, right? The tanks.
That entire project fell apart after Bam was killed. The house was burnt down. The
That
town
sucks.
turned on you, and things went to crap really fast.
Wait,
That's why you left Fargland.
It
That
was
sucks.
It was
You still have your crossbow. You're down 1 arrow. 1 explosive arrow.
what did I shoot?
people.
You don't want to know.
I've
But,
done this.
I've done
Everything
things.
went to crap. That's why you're moving to Go, and you found this advertisement asking for new adventurers, and you're headed to the castle.
You killed too many people, man.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Killed too many people.
Also, right into your backstory, your arch enemy is a psychopathic 7-year-old girl.
She sounds like she would be my best friend.
A what?
She's not your best friend.
She's psychopathic.
She's psychopathic because of you.
Ah.
Can I befriend her now?
No, she wants to murder all of you.
More like just it.
Sounds like a good time. She tries to kill me. I try to kill her. I don't see any negative here.
It doesn't work. I'm sorry.
For you, I mean, that sounds like a good time for me.
Oh, I love playing with crazy people.
Oh, no, it gets better from here.
Okay, so anyway, Jack and John are now walking across the field. You see the castle that you've been looking for in the distance, just south of Central City. Early in the morning, what will you do?
Look for tracks, see if it's been used recently.
You are on the road. The road that you travel on is very well used, and there are so many tracks you can't even count them all. I mean, it's obvious. You don't even have
arrows or anything like skirmish or anything.
Oh heck no, no. It's very clean.
Does
I mean, you could call it dirt because it is ground road, but...
What's the area like?
The area is very grassy fields, very open, random trees, stones in the distance, and then just as far as you can see in the distance into the horizon, open fields, maybe mountains way off in the distance, days, weeks, months travel in the distance.
Okay. So not very good for alchemical based stuff then.
Probably not. As you stands right now, you would still take half looking for anything alchemic based, except for your stats. You did get a +2 for looking for crystalline in the wild. You might want to write that down now that I remember it.
Be back.
Okay. We'll let Jack roleplay for you for a little while. That might get you murdered.
I need to quickly draft up a muscle relaxant and a hallucinogenic potion for my friend here.
Oh, for Jack? Okay.
I'm kidding.
You can if you want. You have to take a half roll if you try to make something that you're not skilled with.
Question, would that be poison based?
It technically would be a poison, yes.
Alright. But
Very specific.
So
effect.
laxatives.
so basically,
Sorry, that fact just popped in my head.
basically I was looking to get into pentothal and different types with muscle relaxant and hallucinogenic types.
Okay, so basically you want to be a drug dealer.
Yes. Yes, technically.
Okay.
But to go along with, I realized that concentrating on like the brick, the fire brick, pretty much, and like looking at zombies and everything.
Yep.
That's gonna be down the road, and I mean I am, a poisoned sky, so
Yeah.
concentrating on that. That's the general direction I'm going in for right now. And
Okay. Alright, so you can try to craft something like that, but until you actually develop a skill or craft it consistently enough to make a skill out of it, you will take a half roll on that plus your knowledge to be able to try to successfully craft that.
Alright.
So, John, are you back?
East.
Okay. Alright, so you're both standing here in the field, and it sounds like all of our questions have been caught up. You are ready to approach the castle.
So whatever you roll,
Will you
half
approach
is
the
being added
castle?
Your knowledge. That's what I'm getting. You don't half the whole thing.
As I'm walking towards the castle, I do my practice regiment for the day.
Okay, so as you're walking, you're practicing your martial arts. Okay. Take a -1 on charisma. For anyone who sees you while you're doing this, they just think you're kind of nuts.
Anybody that knows me already knows that we're nuts. I mean,
Okay.
You walk through the gates. These people again.
That being said, as you're approaching the castle, the doors are closed. Roll a d10, a regular d10. You as well. Do we have dice for you?
that's okay.
Where is the black bag of dice? Should be a black bag of dice around here somewhere.
Black bag. Yeah.
Someone made you roll for me.
Oh, you don't have dice with you, John? No, you have the dice app on your computer, right?
Yeah, no, it's not an app per se, it's a website.
Okay.
John, type in, go to Bing and type in D&D Dice Roller.
Carl, are you able to see the black bag of dice over there?
Yeah, I think it's right there.
Yep, you should be able to dig a pair of dice out of that.
Those are 14 different pairs that he has.
So, what did you say, John?
Sam
was trying to tell me something and I hit different, panel. I couldn't hear what he was saying.
Oh, he says go to Bing and then do D&D Dice Roller. They are sorted to colors, so.
What do you want? Do you want the lime green? Do you want the dark green? Do you want the red? Do you want the fusy purple? Do you want the bold purple? Do you want the see through yellow? Do you want to see through orange? See through red, a blue, a black, a pink.
I'm just looking for a D6 at this point.
D10, right?
Yes, a D10. To sense your environment.
6.
Okay. And a 3.
What am I adding to that?
Nothing. You don't get to add to sense environment as of yet.
Alright, it's just a 6.
Yep. All right. That being said, I rolled a 2. So both of you, as you're approaching the building, you see a guy dressed in blue and brown with a tricorn hat literally climb straight up the outer wall and over top of the wall. The gates are still closed, and there, as you walk around to the front gate, you notice that the wall on your right, about right where that guy started scaling the wall, is completely blown open from the inside. There's rocks laying around and everything all over the place.
So there's a way in right there?
Mhm.
I go in the obvious way.
Okay,
He
they're
can
walking.
climb all he wants to, alright?
Okay, that being said, as you walk in, you see what at first appears to be a giant pile of laundry. But as you approach it, you realize it's actually snoring, and it is a small giant laying right in your path. Curled up.
Do I have any knowledge of any kind of giants in this area?
From your history, no. Let's roll a d20 on that one. What'd you get, John?
My phone fell. I am skinny. I'll just lean on your boot for a minute.
That's cool.
John?
4.
4? Okay, no, you have no knowledge of giants. You should be able to hit the Windows tab and hit the left or right arrows and multi-window Discord and Bing at the same time.
I keep forgetting to hit Alt.
Okay. That being said, giant sleeping in front of you. He's curled up with a hammer.
Is there any way around him?
Yes, you can walk around him. He's just sleeping in the middle of the courtyard.
Is there a door behind him or anything?
Hold on, I'm using D20s, I'm sorry. Stealth.
Stealth is going to be a d20.
Okay.
Take a +4 on that one, since he's asleep. Oh, yeah, he's sound asleep. I
Sounds
almost
good.
crit failed.
As he's getting ready for this, I ask him, this may be their pet.
Ooh. Okay.
What?
So John's like, this may be their pet.
I don't know that. It's a guy. It's a thing with a hammer. I'm.
He's going around. He's taking the fast route around the city. He's not even gonna drive through to stop for a buddy break. He's just going right around.
To make him change his decision.
Okay.
To go around the giant?
John, what are you trying to do here?
I'm trying to get him not to shoot giant.
Oh, he's not gonna shoot the giant. He's walking around the giant.
Oh, okay, gotcha. I thought he was about to shoot it.
No. No. You have had it.
Okay.
Kill the car dog.
John, are you gonna follow Jack around the giant?
Jack and Jill go over the giant to fall to their death.
I'm not going up.
How is the wall itself? There's a lot of handles, a lot of cracks I could use to climb.
The inner wall of the building, you could try, but it's kind of hard to use a skill to climb and stuff around when you don't have a skill for it.
Just trying to form an escape plan if something goes off.
Okay. The outer wall does have a little bit rougher texture. You may be able to pull that off, but the inner wall you definitely have to take a negative on.
I'm fucking bored because he's giving me 2 hours before I
So
wake
are you gonna follow Jack around the giant though?
Yes, I do follow him.
Wait, what?
Okay. Do you try to stealth, or are you just
We
gonna
already
walk?
did it where I'm off to my homeland, and then
I will attempt the stealth.
Okay.
I
Roll a
rewind
d20.
time, so then you guys are showing up since I altered reality.
What's my stealth?
I believe your stealth sits at a 0 for a monk.
Okay, 12.
Yeah, monk sits at okay. That being said, you're not stealthy at all, but you still get around the giant. He doesn't wake up per se, but you end up knocking over a bucket while you're walking around him.
Alchemist just out stuff. What is going on?
He's not a stealth-based class. If you want a stealth-based class, go with the rogue.
I'm not a stealth-based class either.
Anyway, so
Yeah,
you
I
both
was-
successfully
Walk
walk around the giant, and
chemist.
a lady comes out the front door of the castle carrying a bucket of milk and a basket with a bunch of bread and fruit in it, and walks right past you guys, says good morning, and then she walks over to the giant laundry mound of the giant and bends over, puts the giant bucket of milk down, pats the giant on the face, and she's like, Behemoth, time to wake up. And Behemoth, he rolls over, rubs his eyes, gets up, and he's like, morning, tiny mama.
Oh.
And she gives him the bucket of milk and the basket of fruit and stuff, and he starts eating his breakfast right there in the courtyard.
Does it look at us at all?
Say what?
Does he look at them at all?
No, he's not really paying attention to them at all.
Yay!
Ask Lanny if he is friendly.
Okay,
Be friendly, because I'm rather squishy.
she looks over at you and she's like, "Oh, I haven't met you before. Yeah, he's friendly. He's my he's my little behemoth.
Little.
Yeah,
Little.
don't call him anything else. She just gives you a look. Roll a charisma check to see if you understand this look.
You did!
Oh wait, hold on.
That was a 10. It was a 10. I saw it.
Oh, that was a D20 though.
I'm a D20.
Oh,
On a D20.
sorry.
We're gonna go ahead and roll the D20.
Okay.
Okay.
It's more of a not really a charisma check. It's more of a communication situation. But John, what did you roll?
I don't know, I was rolling. What am I rolling for?
D20.
Charisma.
I think we're gonna have to switch charisma over to a D20.
Ah, 17.
17. Okay. Both of you get the look, and you understand immediately that if you call him big
Or large.
or any other
Or giant.
form of the word, when she says tiny to you, you realize he might take offense to that, like big time.
So,
He doesn't like being called big. So
so wait, the only word that he likes is behemoth?
he likes behemoth because that's his name,
Little.
and he likes to be called little.
For his size.
He's a runt for a giant. So
How
compared to
tall are
other
you?
giants, he's small.
How tall are we looking at here?
He stands about 9 and 9.5 feet tall, and he's big and bulky.
We need to get Kevin Sorbo in here.
But he is recognizable as a giant by how beefy he is.
I carry on.
There is a,
Okay. So-
8-foot Cyclops.
You're standing in the courtyard, John and Jack. So
Yuck.
you're just both standing there.
Yep,
I go to the door that she came out of.
Okay.
I look for the obvious area where I'm to meet people.
Okay. Are you gonna follow John into the castle? Okay. As you walk in, there is literally a giant hall of a room. Pillars along the one side. There are stained glass windows letting light in from the outer courtyard, and there are big buttresses going up to the ceiling, and it goes on quite a ways. But inside, Ezra, is that you chewing?
No, that's me using a squirt bottle.
Okay. It sounded like you're crunching on chips. Okay.
I can assure you I'm not.
As you walk in, there is a desk sitting there with a sign that says, well, roll to see if you understand how to read first, and see if you can read it. Because you are from Vardland, you are not from Go.
Which type?
Roll a knowledge check.
20.
D20.
D10?
20.
15.
Plus 20.
Yeah, both of you got it. You got it. So that being said,
Luckies.
it says
Y'all
new
can read.
adventurers.
I can't read.
It says
He's illiterate.
he has dyslexia,
He's illiterate.
so it's impossible. It's like it's near
He's
impossible.
illiterate.
He's illiterate because of his dyslexia. But you see the sign above that desk that says new adventurers apply here. And there's no one at the desk. But there is a young lady in what appears to be like she's wearing a small vest and like a dress skirt and everything. Her hair's tied back, and
A rep.
yeah, she's kind of like a representative or whatever. She's getting papers and stuff set up at the main adventurers desk. They got like mailboxes and stuff and a big billboard with all kinds of postings and stuff on it. Besides the major, like 20-foot tall billboard to the side. No, it doesn't. He's messing with you.
Take my hat off and swing it to a bow and say, how do you do?
He took me seriously!
No, that's why I didn't take it seriously. I wanted to clarify exactly what you said on it.
Okay.
I thought you when you said that, I was like, did he take me seriously?
No, God, no.
Okay, that being said, she is still a bit of a distance away, so you have to shout John to say good morning to her.
Good morning. Good morning.
She looks up at you and she's like,
What else is there?
she doesn't say anything, but she kind of waves you to come closer.
I speed up a little bit, like, pick up the pace. Like,
Okay, so you both approach the desk and she's like, good morning.
Good
Sorry,
morning. I was told there was porn here by this guy.
I'm in my room asleep.
No metagaming.
Do I know his name?
Thane Ross, you don't even know he's here,
Oh,
but you
okay.
do recognize him on the paper.
This guy?
This guy told me there was.
Are we really going there?
No, sorry. Backtracking.
Do we have a pamphlet?
Yes, you do. And it's got a
Okay.
picture of Carl and John and their girlfriends
Thane.
on it. Carl and Thane, I'm sorry.
But Carl.
That kills people. Sorry, bud. You're gonna hear it every once in a while. It's been a long time since I've said it.
Okay.
I've heard about every single day in high school. I wanted to kill everybody.
Okay.
At least it's not AA, Ron.
Anyway, so John and Jack, you're both standing in front of the desk, holding the pamphlet. The representative is looking at you, just waiting, like, what do you want?
Hello. Where to sign here? Somewhere?
So they,
I look at the
He
sign,
put it at the
and then I
table,
look at
like-
her.
okay. Oh, so you're just looking at it and kind of pointing at it and looking at her back.
No, I'm going back and forth, like looking at the sign, looking at her, looking at the sign, or looking at her.
Okay. Roll a sense roll a sense environment check. It's a D10.
Is it a D10?
A D10? Yes.
3.
A 3? Okay. You mistake one of the girls in the picture for the girl over the desk. Bad artist.
He does that, right?
Yeah.
Because, okay. Is there like an obvious thing to write my name down and sign?
No, there's not. She's like, John, what is the results of this looking back and forth at the pamphlet here and you mistaking her for the girl in the picture?
Hang on one second.
What were you in there? Nieces has been taken out.
Yeah. Was it soak up the milk?
You're
Nice.
a fat kid genius.
Wait, so where am I in this situation?
You're still upstairs talking to Carl at this point. He just let you in the door at this point.
I thought you said
Take
Carl
note,
was in
I'm
the
not
same
calling
room.
you fat,
I'm
I'm
like,
saying
wait,
it's
what?
a fat kid genius. There's a difference.
Okay. Alright, so, John, what was that again?
Can I like?
Go back to bed. How about just go in and really...
Let's just.
Okay, I think, Jack, you're gonna have to take over this. I think John stepped away for a second.
Okay, so, there,
Fine.
you said there was a sign that
You're gonna
says,
wake up, I'm just gonna open the door, throw a
anybody
knockout
who's
mist in
joined
there, and be like, go
basically
back to bed.
talk to you.
Because you know what's happening.
And it
Then
is-
that desk was empty. There weren't any papers or anything there. And that's why you approached the main desk.
Okay, so, my apologies for my, esteemed friend. We're here to join.
She's like, oh, I'm sorry, we haven't opened the castle gates yet. I thought you were part of the new adventurers and
We
everything.
are. We're the new adventurers. We're here to join up and, have some fun.
I was like, oh, yes, but we haven't opened the castle gates yet. I was just surprised that you are in the castle at this time of the morning.
Oh, there was a huge hole.
She's like, oh, yeah, the hole. I forgot about that, of course.
My apologies if I overset my batteries here, but
She's like, oh, no, that's just Behemoth. He's remodeling.
I can definitely see that.
Wait, I thought you said the hole wasn't inside of the actual main wall.
No, it was.
It's not in the castle. It's in the wall that extends from the castle to protect the
That's
building.
what I thought he was talking about. That I was going into the castle. That's what was like, wait.
She's like, anyway, we won't have sign-ups ready for a few, a little while here. We typically have some of the head adventurers come down and work on those.
Okay.
But if you want to wait in the meantime,
All right. I sit down.
you do recognize, Thane and Carl are on the poster though.
Oh, quick question on Thane and Carl.
Monroe.
It's Monroe.
Yeah.
But Carl is here.
And she's like,
Is here?
she's like, oh, you know them?
I do. Is there a chance I can speak with him by chance?
Give me just a moment. She pulls over and there's a whole apparatus of strings and she rings one of the bells. And there's a set of tubes where all of a sudden some lady's voice comes out of one of the tubes. Yes, what is it? And she turns in, it's like, I'm sorry, my lady, is Thane up yet? Someone's asking for him.
Specifically Thane. Make sure we wake him up.
They know not to come to you because you're, an idiot.
Thank you.
Well, that's just mean, you guys.
And
No,
then
I never
it's
com-
true though.
you should have seen the first day he was helping sign up new adventurers. He was letting people in for free.
Wait, they charge us?
Yes.
Oh yeah, to join a guild, you get charged. How else do you think the guild makes money? I mean, besides adventurer fees,
Well, since we know them, we'll probably just let them in.
Anyway,
Look, I'm gonna have to start charging them.
that being said, Thane, you roll over because what? Samantha wakes you up and she says, "Someone's calling for you on the tube." And you
Ouch.
turn over and you're like,
The 2?
roll a knowledge check on the tube.
The tube.
I rolled a 10.
Well, I rolled a 1, so you're like, oh yeah, the tube. And you notice, you haven't been thinking about this, but there are these series of tubes that were installed by the craftsmen, like, very fast. And
I'll walk over
you
to the
basically
tube.
can open up the tube and you can talk through it.
Yes, who is it?
Are you using that voice?
Yes, I am.
Okay. You hear this weird gay voice coming through the tube at the desk, and the lady steps back for a second, looks at you like, do you recognize this?
Yes, it's completely fine, I assume.
And
It
she's
better
like,
be fine.
there is a very shady-looking chemist and a monk sitting here at the front desk asking for you, Sir Thing.
Is his name Jack?
I'm back.
He turns to you. Are you Jack?
They call me Castiel, too.
Ah, that asshole.
You hear that out of the tube.
That's completely fine.
And-
I'll be down in a minute.
Okay, so you come downstairs.
And my
I'm-
skibbies.
As you walk out your front door to your bedroom,
That same
you
maid.
bump into the same maid that you ran over the other day.
Quick question.
I look down.
You look there. She's standing there, holding a whole pile of laundry again, and she's like,
Did she bump into me or
you bumped into her,
Oh.
and she just
Is
slightly
she,
looks.
is she still standing or is she on
She's-
the ground?
She's standing, but all she can see is from about here up, no clothes. And so she's automatically assuming that you're completely buck naked again.
Oh, I'm sorry about that, ma'am. We really gotta stop meeting like this. I walk around her and I go downstairs.
And she just closed her eyes, and she knocks on your bedroom door, and what's her name lets you in.
Samantha.
Samantha lets her in. Yes. All right. That being said, you walk downstairs. You come into the main hall, or you come into the entrance hall.
Okay.
In your skivvies, and there is John and Jack standing there.
I scratch my chin.
Okay, John.
You seem a little cold.
You seem a little cold. It's just a wee breeze. It's all right.
Okay. So, now you've met Thane. Carl, at this moment,
Where are
you and Barnaby are coming down the steps, the opposite steps to the hall, coming down from another floor, and you both enter to see Jack and John, Thane in his underwear, and then
Again.
there's you and Barnaby standing here, both looking at this strange scene. A shady-looking chemist character, Thane standing in his underwear, and a monk.
Again.
Do I recognize Jack and John?
It's been a couple weeks, but
6.
I rolled a 6 as well, so yes.
Okay. And I'm going to look at you and kind of yell at you, like, Thane! Fucking get dressed!
Can I? How far away from me is it?
He's about 30 yards away from you.
Can I just yell at the top of my lungs? What'd you say?
It's easy to hear. He yells loud enough for the entire castle to nearly wake up at this point. And he yells at you, what did you say?
I said, get dressed!
What? Come closer.
At this moment, Samantha comes running down the stairs. Thane! Grabs you by the hair and drags you back upstairs. What have I told you about running around the castle in your underwear? You nearly gave the maid a heart attack again.
I wasn't running around the castle. I was standing right here. And she's all right, isn't she?
Take a -10 on your strength check.
I rolled a 10. Plus my 5th, I don't add my strength, do I?
You can.
I mean, plus my 12, so I got 12.
You have 12, but
Keep
I rolled a 17.
Fuck.
Samantha is brutally dragging you back upstairs. And you are helpless because she's your girlfriend. So, reasons. With that being said, you're dragged upstairs and she makes you get dressed.
Shower, shave, dress.
Yeah, it's gonna take you about half an hour
That's good.
because
Wow.
it's the castle baths. So, that being said, you're standing there with Barnaby now in the main hall.
So, I still want to talk to Leona.
Leona is asleep upstairs and you left her asleep.
For some reason.
Okay, so
Yikes.
Yikes.
I tell Barnaby that
You know that?
whenever. Do I know the gates are closed right now?
You don't. No.
So I'm just gonna tell Barnaby that where those other fellows are is where you sign up for the join the guild.
Okay.
Barnaby?
Very well.
All right. So as you approach the table, the representative heard you, and turns to you, and she roll a charisma check. Monroe. Roll a charisma check, Monroe.
8.
You rolled an 8. Okay. Plus your 6 charisma, I presume.
Actually, no, it's a 10.
Or did you buff it?
No, I didn't. Actually, I didn't change it. I'm saving my stat points right now.
Okay. You might as well use them. But anyway, so
I
okay.
don't know what I want to put them in just yet.
You rolled an 8. Okay. Well, she was an 8 too. So that being said, she just looks at you.
She
and she's
was
like,
looking like an 8 all night.
that being said, she just rolls her eyes and starts digging around in the desk for these sign-up sheets and everything. As you approach the desk, Barnaby, she's kind of scrambling to get all the papers and everything together, and she turns to you and she motions you over a little bit while Barnaby starts to fill out the papers.
Me?
Yes.
Okay, I kind of thought I was a bit of a way away.
She still motions you to come over here, like giving you a nod with the head.
And that's Carl, not Barnaby.
Barnaby's
Are we
at
all
the
doing
desk.
paperwork?
You're not doing paperwork yet, no. Jack stepped away. You could ask for one of those as well.
This is my paperwork. This is my special duty for today.
John, you could ask for the paperwork as well.
Okay.
Alright, so are you doing that?
Yes.
Okay, so she looks at you, questioning, Monroe.
I walk over there.
When he asks for a copy of the paperwork, she looks at you like, what am I supposed to do? This is my job.
Is it her job?
It isn't her job, no. You're one of the guild leaders.
But you know how horrible that went last time.
Yes, but you're the only one present because
Fine.
the other one just got dragged away in his skivvies.
Fine.
Okay.
Yes, I must say, that's quite different. First they come over the wall, and the first thing I see is this fire alarm that turns out to actually be a half giant. And then I walk up to the door, and you're getting out of bed. You're getting dressed. And now when I come down the stairs, the first thing I see is two characters, and then a guy in his undies. I can't believe how ridiculous this place is.
Well, you just happen to meet the most extravagant of them in the bunch. And the lady at the desk, she just looks at you and kind of rolls her eyes in agreement and nods her head.
Get the paper, have him fill it out. And
Yeah,
then
you're not in the room. You're getting dressed. Carl, that being said, she leans over to you now that you have approached the gate, and she's like, well, are we charging them or not?
Yeah. Well, I don't know that one guy though. But I know them, so.
You got 2 that you know. Are you charging them, and are you going to charge one guy and not 2 other guys?
I hate decisions.
Is your dad in
Do I
there?
have
What kind
anything?
of questions are on the paperwork?
Name, country of origin, occupation, skills, number of adventures you have gone on, other titles that you may have.
Does she look busy or just annoyed?
She's busy talking to Monroe under her breath at the moment. And
I look ask her a question.
yeah, she turns to you because Monroe is obviously not able to make a decision at this moment. And so she turns to you and she's like, yes, question?
How much work is over towards the Dragon Temple up north?
How much what?
Work.
She turns to you and she's like, Oh, the Hall of the Spirit Dragon. She turns around, grabs some files off of the reaches back into the cabinets and ruffles through a bunch of files, pulls out some parchment, opens up, and she turns to you and she says, "There's really not that much going on. We've only been open for a few days, so we haven't got that many requests yet from very far places." She closes it down and puts it back in. But she says you might also check the big billboard over there. Those are things that other adventurers in the guild post as well.
Okay, I'll make sure I'll check that as soon as I finish up this work.
Okay. Jack, are you going to fill out paperwork with John to sign up for the guild as well?
I'm just not gonna charge them.
Okay. You're not going to charge them?
No.
And so, are you going to like motion to her to make your decision?
Mhm.
All right. She turns back to you. She goes,
And
"Well?"
discount.
I know them.
She's like, "Okay." And she brings just a moment, and she grabs your paper, John, your paper, and Ezra. She grabs your paper as well, and she takes all of them and she drags them over to Monroe and asks him to sign his name.
Do I know
On the
how to
bottom
even
of those.
sign my name?
You can do so. You can try. But chances are good you don't even know how to spell it, so therefore you just have like a mark.
What is the percentage the guild gets from the jobs that we do?
12.
Is that D20?
Mm-hmm.
2. Okay, you massively succeed in making the identical mark on all 3. And you remember what that mark is. It's, I don't know, whatever you want it to be.
A
You can-
dildo. I'm kidding.
Come up with something a little bit more realistic, please. Anyway, that being
I put a
said...
chemist logo.
Okay, your chemist's potion
So-
steaming logo on it. And you hand it back, and she just looks at it, she rolls her eyes, and she hands each of you back your own paper.
So, so I already got my paper handed back, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I actually have a few things I put on there very, very specifically
Okay.
that I wrote down. Like, obviously, I put my name down, but then my country of origin is Barnaby Manor. My past skills are the Barnaby Corporation, and my past characters are Scar of Ace.
Hey, Ezra, could you disconnect and reconnect here quick? You're breaking up.
Okay.
No, much better.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Can I hear you good?
Yeah, I can hear you somewhat decent. I think it's your Wi-Fi, but I'm not positive. Anyway.
Could be.
I finally get the meme.
Anyway, that being said, as you all finished signing up your
Remember
paperwork
all the
and
female-
everything,
When
the
we
lady
started
reaches
counting
down underneath the desk,
What?
Remember when all the
And,
characters started down and down, we started counting
pulls out some
and-
stuff and reaches over to one of the tubes. Can we not talk memes right now?
Sorry!
We got story going on here.
Sorry!
She reaches over to one of the tubes, rings a little bell, and you hear a scruffy voice. Yes, what is it? And she's like, you're needed at the front desk. Monroe has just accepted 3 new adventurers, and we need to finish out their paperwork rather quickly. And he's like, and you hear grumbling and something thrown in the background.
Who did you
And
call?
he all of a sudden the scruffy voice comes back. I'll be right down. Give me a moment.
Who did she call?
And you don't know. Anyway,
That's why I asked her.
she's like, oh, one of our craftsmen that the merchants brought in yesterday. He fills out all the tags for adventurers. Oh, speaking of which, she remembers and she reaches under the desk and goes through some files. And she's like, this is for you, and hands you a little necklace with a tag. And you look on it, and she's like, and you can request to have your own mark engraved on the back of it as well, and your mark, signature mark,
Okay.
if you would like. That helps identify
Back of what?
documents you've signed. And she just rolls her eyes, and then She also puts a blank one on the desk in front of you, and in front of Barnaby. Just then, Leona comes down the stairs, and Samantha both come down the stairs, and a disgruntled Thane comes down the stairs, slowly, jerking on the last leather straps of his armor. Enjoying putting on the breastplate while he's doing it, apparently.
Gotta make sure they're all nice and perky.
That's how you do it. You make sure that they're
He
nice.
doesn't sound that
How you
disgruntled.
doing?
Okay. That being said, now that all of you are standing here in this large area,
Bye.
shortly after they come down the stairs, here comes a short, stout, scruffy-looking character who looks like he just rolled out of bed. He's got beard cowlick, and looks like he just barely managed to put on his pants, and he's like, "Stupid adventurers march." And he's just grumbling the whole way,
Sounds like,
glaring at Thane and Monroe as he's doing so, and he pulls this little tool pouch out from underneath of his untucked shirt, sets it on the desk, and he approaches Jack, you first, being the shadiest one of the group. He looks at you and he's like, "Occupation."
Alchemist.
Reaches down,
Whose occupation?
he pulls out this little box, and he pulls a bunch of levers and whatnot, and slides the little, what looks like a brass token / gold coin, long elongated coin in there. Pulls a lever, and then he resets everything. He's like, "Country of origin? Parkland." And he looks up at you, raises an eyebrow, and he's like, switches it up,
Already men there.
pulls a lever, and he's like, "Current experience level."
My current experience
Novice.
level. Yeah.
Novice.
And he's like, "The people they let in these days." And he just kind of glares out of the corner of his eye as he very slowly and accurately puts every lever in place and glares at you, Monroe, for allowing such noobs into our new guild
I was
already.
actually about to give him some gold, but I
And
don't know.
he pulls a lever, releases it, and he's finally, "Name."
John Winchester.
And he pulls the levers and everything, pulls a
I thought your
lever,
name was Jack.
and did you write John Winchester on your papers as well?
Nah.
Okay.
Remember the last time I went to the girl and they gave him a fake name too?
That being said, he unsnaps it. Roll a stealth check.
Oh boy.
Whose games?
14.
You have a very accurate representative, and she's like, wait. She's like, she reaches over and she's like, "Didn't you introduce yourself as Jack?"
Jack. Also known as John.
Roll a D12 as a charisma check. Take a -2 for shadiness.
7.
You succeed.
Oh yeah, sorry, no. 4 plus
I've
1.
finished doing it.
Okay, 5. Alright, so you got it. Alright, so she's like, "Okay." And she turns away, and he goes ahead and pulls the lever, hits a button, extracts the little brass plate, sticks it on a chain, and hands it to you. Turns to you, John.
Why are we getting dog tags?
Adventurers have dog tags. What if you get killed in battle and there's nothing left of you but a pile of cream?
That's why I gave him a fake name.
That being said,
Why?
he turns to you and he
Super guilt.
slides another brass plate into the machine and asks your occupation, John.
Brawler / Montrose / Fight Club champion 3-time.
He just looks at you over his... He just looks up at you and he's like... "Fighter." Types it in, pulls the lever, and he's like...
Pull the lever, Kronk.
And he
Lever!
try to be a little quiet because he's probably gonna go to sleep soon.
Okay.
We both
and-
said the same time.
And he says, name, or let's see, what was it? Country of origin. John,
Unknown.
it's Bargland. You know this. So, he types it in, pulls the lever, and he's like, experience level. Looks at you, waiting on you.
4.
He just gives you an eyebrow, and he's like, and the representative at the desk is like, are you relatively new to the fighting area, or, you know, have you been fighting for quite a while? Are you trained by someone? She's looking for some information of it.
I am a disciple at the Dragon Temple up north. I was also a champion at Fight Club 3 times.
And she's like, put him as experienced. And so he types it in, pulls the lever, he's like, well, at least you're not a complete failure, and turns over to you, Monroe. He has no respect for you, apparently.
Okay, he's not getting extra gold. I've actually just because he had to go through this trouble, I'm gonna give him a little bit of gold, but fuck that shit.
I could poison him without. I don't know.
and finally he asks for
Knock
your
it off.
name.
Yes, what?
He asks for your name.
He insulted me.
John.
And he types it in, and
Poison his
the lady at the desk, she looks up
Can I
and
just
she's
walk
like,
No,
away?
I drink most of the brew in the
Walk
building, so
Wait, like, can I motion at the underling to kind of walk away?
Acceptable risk.
You
I
could.
suppose.
You could, but, you know,
I need to talk to her.
you killed me.
this
I
is
killed
happening
you.
pretty quickly.
You well, actually, I'm
And, you know, we want to keep everybody together.
Mm-hmm.
Well, give it a minute. So John, he pulls the lever, and he looks at the tag, and then he looks at your tag, and she's like, that's why they call him Jack. There's 2 Johns in the same room. Hands it to John. And you got away with that one. Turns to Barnaby and
how.
says, occupation.
Dumbass.
Full-time gambler.
What?
At both bar and in the field.
And he just looks at you, rolls his eyes again.
No what?
He rolls his eyes, and he's like, gambler. Pulls the lever. And he's like, country of origin, which you would know as go.
The Barnaby Manor.
And he's like, that's not a country. I'll just put in northern go. Since, you know, and he puts it in and pulls the lever questioningly, like, what group of insane, crazy heroes has Monroe led into this group today? And
If you were there, it's crazy.
and he turns and he's like, level of experience.
Over 9,000.
It's over 9,000! And he's like, we'll say, extravagant. And he just puts it in parentheses, as in just kind of an obvious note, and pulls the lever.
Explosions. Extravagant.
And then he turns down and he's like, name.
While this is happening, can I roll a stealth check? Or like a stealth?
You could. D20.
Is he out here with us?
Yes.
I failed. I rolled a 7.
I rolled worse than you, don't worry.
What did you roll?
I roll a 14.
Much worse than him.
You rolled
Just
a
tell
10.
me what you rolled.
It's a 2 on the die.
I rolled a 7. He rolled a 14.
Believe it or not, everyone who just rolled a stealth check just succeeded, because I rolled a 2. Everyone is paying attention to what's going on. So, stealth away.
I mean,
No, I
I'm
was-
trying to stealth away.
I was trying to like keep an eye on him, like as to see if he was actually like, see if I noticed he's.
Okay, so
gone.
you're following him. What are you doing with the stealth?
I thought we're trying to roll against him pretty much.
Oh, well.
Seeing that he's trying to go away.
Okay, well,
I'm walking away.
Well, you guys
And
that just rolled
gathering
the stealth
stuff.
checks. You were able to follow him and do what you want.
Is
Ezra-
Leona with me?
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna walk away, like somewhere else.
It's not that I was trying to walk
You
away,
don't
I was
care.
trying
Like
to,
I just walk away.
Well-
and you don't care.
Like if he was gonna stop,
I'm
me, I
gonna
was gonna be
stop
like, hey,
you,
hold
though.
on, buddy, how you doing?
Can I talk to you too,
Give him a
Thane?
hug.
Okay.
I rolled a higher stealth than he did.
That's why I said I only rolled
Okay.
a 2.
So
you know?
yeah. So you wouldn't
I wouldn't
succeed
know.
at that point.
I'm gonna try to stop him before he leaves. Thane,
Okay.
talk to him too.
What
I
did you
just-
roll?
He rolled 14.
14.
What did you roll?
I rolled a 7, so he
So
wins.
he does
Yes,
stop
he
you
knows.
from getting away. That being said,
Stuff
Ezra,
jerk!
what were you putting for a name on your tag?
Remember when I did that? I rolled a crit 20.
He asked you for your name, and these guys
Oh,
interrupted.
I'm sorry. Alright,
And he's like, "Of course." And he types it in, pulls the lever, pulls out the brass tag, and hands it to you. And he's like, "Are we done now?" And the lady turns, the representative lady turns to him. She's like, "Yes, I'm sorry for waking you up." And he's like, "I'll be back in 2 hours. Please don't call me before then." And she's like, "Of course." And he
Does he
packs
walk
up
by
his
us?
stuff, and he walks around the other edge of the desk, and he walks past. He walks past you and Leona.
Okay,
But
I'm
he-
gonna
he
stop
walks
him
up.
real quick, and I'm gonna hand him 50 gold.
Do you have 50 gold?
I have 680 on me.
Okay.
Jeebus.
That being said, he looks up at you, and he looks at the gold, and he's like, "My apologies." Tucks it in his little shirt underneath his belt with the rest of the stuff, and he bows, and he walks out of the room. That being said, all of you are standing there. The lady representative at the
I had
desk,
walked off.
actually, as you're walking away, she pulls Monroe aside and says, "Actually, I have something for all of you, by the way. I have," and she reaches in the bag, and she pulls out Thane Ross. Which one of you is Thane Ross?
I'll take it for him. He's leaving.
I'm gone. I am gone.
You're walking out of the room.
I am
You're
walking-
still stealthing. She doesn't realize that you got walked away, but you haven't gotten out the doors yet.
I
He's
stopped you.
leaving right now. I'll take it for him.
Well, you know that.
Did you say
see
that?
me walking
She's like,
towards the
"Leaving?
stairs.
Where?" And
That way. Somewhere, I think.
You don't know where I'm at. He does.
doesn't know. I don't know that for sure, but I'm just saying.
she
I'm
asks you,
trying to
"Which
take
one
his
of you is
stuff.
Thane?" You know where he is.
Him. He's
And
I'm
walking
at
away.
the stairs going back up.
as he points, she looks and sees you. I have your tag, by the way.
I'll get it later.
And you take it.
No, I don't.
Okay.
It's
And
a
she's
smash.
like,
I need to holler at things like I need to talk to you.
I'm going back to bed.
Your bed's with me.
Oh God.
at that moment, do you actually say that? Okay.
No.
If you did, I'd be like, no, thank you.
Samantha is still standing there.
Who's Samantha?
Samantha is his girlfriend.
That's my girlfriend.
Then I definitely do. I'm
Well,
joking.
it's my fiance in real life and is my girlfriend in the game.
Because she won't actually play the game, but we made a character for her.
Yes.
So, his is just because he broke up with his girlfriend.
Oh, you poor thing. You need a shoulder to cry on.
I
You can go
do.
back to my room and
Ugh.
I'll give you a big old hug.
Uh,
By hug, I mean cuddle. By cuddle, I mean with no pants.
If I put no pants, I mean behind you.
Or
What have I gotten
me in
us
front
all
of you,
into?
whichever you choose. I'm leaving this up
Put
to
a
you.
bow. Put a bow.
can we keep this rated at least PG to the power of 2?
No.
No, PG the power of.
This is technically Ren and Stimpy PG, right?
Okay, can we get back to the game, please?
Fine.
Okay.
I'm
that
walking-
being said, she reaches in, she pulls out a tag for you, a tag for Leona, and a tag for Samantha, and while she's standing there, Samantha goes ahead and takes things.
Okay.
That being said, at that moment, there is a commotion in the courtyard. And
Okay.
you're trying to walk away.
Well, I'm already in my room.
You're
Yeah.
walking up the stairs.
Fine. I'm walking to the room.
Okay. That being said, there's a commotion in the courtyard, and the main gate, the main door to the hall, both doors, instead of just the tiny door on the front of the big doors, both massive doors are opened up from the outside. And it's because, the soldier, guard runs in, swings open the bar, and just they start pushing both doors wide open, and here comes the king himself walking into the room. He's got his guards, and he's got his son, Sir Eric, and that's my character, coming into the room, and they all approach, and he looks up, and he's like, just the people I wanted to talk to. Well, some of them. Who are you? These new adventurers in your group.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, well, congratulations. Good to have new, wonderful adventurers. And he reaches out his hand, and he looks at you for a second and moves his hand to John instead.
Shady person.
I'm used to this.
And he shakes John's hand. John, do you do anything? John's disconnected. I
Earth
don't know.
John, Earth John.
John's AFK.
John's probably taking care of his kids or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got the great kids. But anyway, he skips over John, and then he sees Barnaby, and he's like, he turns to Thane, and he's like, you got a Barnaby to join the guild? That's wonderful. Monroe, I'm sorry. But he's like, you got a Barnaby to join.
No, I
You'll
don't
never
even
go
go about
hungry
our
whatsoever.
names for a while.
Great financial
Like,
choice.
even
I'm sure he
Marshall.
gave you extra money to go ahead and sign up to your guild.
Totally.
And he's smiling through your teeth as he's shaking your hand and everything. He's like, well, gather yourselves together. Who was the other one? Yeah, that Ross character. Thane Ross. Grab him and meet me in the main hall.
Will do.
I need to do a stealth check to see if I get away.
You are actually in a room.
I know, I mean away.
That being said, Samantha looks over at you and says, I'll go get him. There is no way.
I look for the
I
nearest
rolled an
character
11.
or person.
Okay.
That's not like, dealing with the king. Where's the alchemy set? Do you have one here?
We don't have an alchemy set yet, I don't think.
Chemist sets and stuff are typically things that you carry with yourself. Okay, John. The king just gave you a handshake, by the way. He showed up out of nowhere.
Speaking of which, was I able to get my stuff out? Or any of
You
stuff?
got your stuff. You've got your typical chemist supplies. You don't have a laboratory where you can really experiment without taking massive negatives, but you can still do stuff. And if you go to like a chemist store, you can actually pick up some stuff.
And do I have enough gold to get me started, or is it just...
Can you help me out with Lewis structure? Rye Guy 9. I don't know who Rye Guy 9 is, and I don't know what Lewis structure is. But this isn't actually Dungeons and Dragons. We got it under the tag of Dungeons and Dragons, but it's the Chronicles of the Adventure Guilds. It's our game that we've designed. So I will go ahead and type question marks into the he might be asking me some Dungeons and Dragons stuff. So but that being said, you wanted to do some alchemist stuff.
Yeah, get supplies, get all that set up.
Okay.
What I
What is Lewis structure?
It's chemistry stuff.
I saw chemist. Yeah, we actually have two chemists. We have
You looked it up?
who's hiding behind the hat right now. There he is.
Hey, watch your eyes, by the way.
Sam is our insane chemist, and Carl is our introverted chemist. They're all kind of insane in one way, shape, or form. That's why they do chemistry instead of do like swords and shields like normal people.
But I'm valuable too.
Some of us just do
Okay.
special,
I like to
just
poison.
because.
That being said,
See, I have invulnerability to paralyzation.
after level 50, every 50 levels you get a super skill. He got the one that gives him complete paralyzation immunity.
Great.
So
Sleep is not a paralyzer.
no, it's not. Okay. That being said,
Why is everybody
the
stopping
rest
me
of
to
your
go to my
group
journey?
goes into the main hall.
Go to sleep.
Are you going to follow
I want to roofie you.
No.
John and
Why me?
you need to draw the Lewis structure of xenon fluoride 4. Unfortunately, I do not remember my chemistry. Even though I got an A in chemistry, I cannot remember the Lewis structure to that. I am sorry. They're actually asking chemist homework here. They want to know the Lewis structure to xenon fluoride 4. I don't know. I'm just the DM. Here, maybe this. I'm just the DM.
Does he have like everything?
Aren't you the god of this?
I am the god of this world. See, my cloak gives me like that.
See, that's the problem. You weren't wearing the cloak.
I wasn't wearing the cloak, so I need to wear the cloak so everyone knows I'm the DM. Okay?
Alright, now you should know the
Or an
answer.
evil
He's
Sith
like
Lord.
he's in the dirt to come around.
I am the DM.
Now you
Okay.
should know the answer to that question, okay?
It is shaped like a pony with like star for a tail. That's what it looks like.
There we go.
That's the in-game Lewis structure for xenon fluoride 4. It looks like a pony with a star for a tail.
Okay.
Okay. That being said, are you gonna follow Monroe and the other two ladies? You and Jack, are you gonna follow along with the king and everything, or are you gonna do something else?
That seems more political than I care to be at.
Okay.
I just thought of something.
Go to bed.
I look around for a good staging area for an alchemy set, and
You're
I
with
make
the
sure
king.
to ask questions too, like
Ha.
to anybody that's obviously capable of answering them.
You're looking for a place to set up.
Yeah, staging area for
Okay.
alchemy set.
Let's roll a sense environment. It's a D10. And almost anything you roll is going to be successful. Even that. You find a lady that was walking through with some breakfast, obviously for one of the rooms. She was one of the maids, and you approach her.
Say,
I'm trying to introduce a little bit more roleplay to this story.
yes. Apologies for bothering you. I'll be quick. Where's a good area for staging for an alchemy set?
And she's like,
And
are you new to the guild?
Yes.
Have you been assigned a room?
No.
She's like, go ask the lady at the front desk to assign you a room set up for a chemist. She would probably be able to set you up with something.
Sounds good. Thank you for the time.
Okay. That being
Try
said,
not to kill her.
she keeps walking on and she heads up the stairs.
That comes later.
That comes later.
By accident. I'm already planning her accident.
Right Guy 9 is asking the chemists to help because he needs to complete his homework assignments. So if anyone can find the Lewis structure to xenon fluoride 4,
This is Dr. B.
someone's on YouTube watching it right now.
I'm playing D&D, okay?
I'm gonna hide it from the camera just in case there's no copyright stuff.
There you go. No, we can't see
So,
your laptop.
while this is all happening,
Okay.
I'm in my room. Samantha soon arrives, right?
Yeah, she walks in the door behind you.
Okay, and she sees me packing my bags.
Okay. She's like, two things. One, where are you going? Two, the king has just summoned you to the main hall.
I know that the king is here. I heard the gates open.
She's like, right, you heard just because the gates opened early means the king's here. You're an amazing genius, Sherlock Holmes, but, king summoned you.
I explain what's going on and what I'm planning to do.
She's like, oh, well, can you talk to the king first? You got time. I mean, you don't want to get in trouble. I mean, if you get in trouble, then I feel bad because I'm in trouble because I'm responsible for you because you're not responsible for yourself. You know, Samantha is.
I just, I tell her, pack your bags, you're coming with me.
And she's like, I'll pack my bags and come with you if you go downstairs and talk to the king while I pack our things.
No.
Then I'm not going. And she sits down on the edge of the bed and folds her arms.
I just start walking out the door.
She's like, are you taking your bag with you?
Yes.
She roll a dexterity save, take a -5.
For what?
She's taking your bags from you.
What?
What'd you get?
2.
Yeah, you're negative and she's on a 9s plus her stats. So
My
she grabs
dexterity
your
is
bag,
10.
yanks it away from you, holds it behind her back, and she's like, no, you're not going anywhere. I will make sure you pack the right clothes because you never do. And get downstairs and talk to the king. I'll have everything ready by the time you're done.
Scratch my skull. I scratch my neck like I am. I can go a few days without clothes. Turn away. Start walking
And
down the
she's like, she bangs her head on the door behind you as you left. And she reaches into the hallway, she reaches into the hallway, grabs one of the tubes that reaches pretty much every room in the castle, and she's like, attention everyone.
Ah, fuck!
400 gold to anyone who brings me Thane Ross, conscious or unconscious. Everyone in the group hears that, including John and Barnaby and everyone.
I started hauling ass to my horse.
Okay.
That's already packed.
That being said, an adventurer comes out the front door in his underwear and tries to tackle you on the way by. Roll a dexterity save.
Level 5 plus my 10.
Okay, he rolled high enough because of his current stats. He's got you. Roll a strength check.
I rolled an 11.
Yeah, he's got you.
What?
He pins you to the wall and deals 5 damage to you.
Fine. Strength check again to push him off.
Okay, you're gonna take an attack roll. Let's take initiative at this point. Roll a d6.
Yes, I am. I rolled a 4.
How are you beating that?
Okay, so you beat him first. So you get to move
So
first.
I took a whisper in your ear.
I'm going to negative.
So
I'm rolling
So,
in the single
he's
digits.
trying to sneak away. To go on his, go
I
to
don't
his
know
home
where that
alone.
went.
And his girlfriend actually took
Neither
his
do
bag.
I.
So when it
should
actually
probably
let
find
him,
that.
so
I
he
got
just started walking
frustrated
out,
with the dice.
and his girlfriend
What the heck,
Took
dude?
the
Come on,
income
you're
thing. I
throwing
guess to
dice.
every room.
I
saying
hit the
anyone
records.
who can bring
The
thing Ross
records?
to me,
Yeah, and
conscious
it should've
or
bounced back.
unconscious, gets 400 gold. So everyone started
I
tackling
heard
him.
it hit wood, I thought. Dang it.
I threw my dice.
Oh, come on.
Alright, so I load up a crossbow.
Yeah, a
I
little
was told 400 gold.
Alive, breathing, conscious or unconscious, not dead.
With an explosive round in your chest, I could actually get you there alive. I can't stay for long, but you'll be there.
Okay,
That's bad.
I don't know where it is. You're gonna have to take up another pair of dice for a while.
Yeah, we're gonna have to clean this out.
Way to go, Thane.
Okay.
It would always be your fault.
Give me a second.
You could have one too if you want one.
That being said, you failed 2 attacks, apparently. So, that being said, he goes to his attack, and he tries to stun you and knock you to the floor.
11.
He rolls a 15 on his precision, so he definitely hits. He deals 15 damage to you.
Okay.
And roll a percentage check.
32.
I rolled a 34. You are now stunned on the floor.
Can I get out?
You now go negative another 1 because it's stun level 1. So you are now negative 3.
What the fuck?
That is enough time for more doors to open up, and here come more adventurers. One has a staff. It looks like a healer. Another person with a bow and arrow, like, where is he? And up the stairs comes running Jack with his crossbow. You see Thane laying on the floor underneath the guy.
Technically, I'm not laying. I would be kneeling.
Oh, man!
If I'm just
Alright.
stunned, I would technically be on my knee.
Stunned does take away action points. That's basically what it does. So, that being said, Jack comes up the stairs and he's already disappointed, and everybody is just already standing here. Here's this muscular adventurer. By the way, it's Scythe.
Oh, fucking damn it.
Comes in and he's sitting there over top of you, and he's like, and stay down. That being said, Samantha comes up, looks at you. You're laying on the ground, upside down, looking at her. She's like, "Are you gonna behave now?"
I'm gonna yell at the top of my lungs, fucking enough.
Wow.
Roll a charisma check.
I don't care about charisma.
Somehow I feel this is going to be a lot longer of a dressing game than I think.
It's a
Plus
2.
my charisma of 10, so 18.
Okay. Everyone jumps back in terror except for Samantha. You just can't terrorize her. And everyone is kind of terrified at the moment, and she looks up and she's like, walks away. Knock him out.
I am furious. I get up.
You're testing the wind in the hallway.
Oh, there's no. We're in the hallway.
You're
Yes.
in a hallway.
How high is the ceiling?
About 7 feet high.
Okay.
I swear to God, if you hit me with a fucking bullet, with a fucking arrow, I'm going to be furious.
I thought we were outside, and what I was gonna do is
Is that door that the guy came
Straight
out?
up. and run.
Okay.
Is that guy
Okay.
that tackled me? Is his door still open? Does he have a window in his room?
Yes, he does.
And he has a window in his room.
He does, yes. But you're still negative on
floor?
the floor. Other people can take actions before you here.
So there was one day he was asleep and he wouldn't wake up. So I
hate you.
added a fuse to an explosion potion and
Okay, so
put it underneath his bed and
we
ran out
just
the door.
need to get this going. I want to do this.
Okay.
I get
That
up.
being said, Jack, are you going to do anything?
No, like I said, I thought we were outside. That's the only circumstance I would have fired.
Okay. Let's see here.
I go back to the person I was told to go to find a room.
Got it. We do have one attempt to knock you out. So, you are
Defense.
stunned. So you can't roll to evade it, but you can roll a percentage die to take, to block the getting knocked out. I got a 69. Oh no, 66.
I have 38.
Okay, so you are knocked out.
KO!
He's been roofied.
That being said,
Poor-
that being said,
Poor thing.
Samantha reaches into her purse and counts out a little bit, puts the rest of that in her pocket, and chucks the purse at Scythe. And Scythe pockets it. Take 400 gold off of whatever gold you guys have.
I mean, I only have 700.
And the rest of the people that are sitting there, she pays another 20 gold to have them drag you down the stairs without care for how rough they are. And you are dragged into the main hall. You're going back to the desk, so we'll pause Thane and let him cool down for a little bit. You went back to the desk.
You're not having a good night today.
He is acting kind of like a rogue at this moment.
Go up to the person. It's the same person that we signed
Mhm.
up with, right?
Method of perspective, I mean, come on.
Yes,
And it's because I'm not trying to do anything different, because we're in the past!
You're in the past, but now it has changed. But you don't entirely know why.
Do what you said.
I was hoping for a staging area.
She's like,
Or
oh, of course, chemist. Give me a moment. And she reaches under the desk.
real quick.
Yeah.
Is it possible to have a room that's semi-environmentally controlled?
And she looks up and she's like, way ahead of you. And she goes down underneath the desk. She's pulling through papers and stuff. Slaps a paper onto the desk above her. Digs around. Slaps a key on the desk. digs around, pulls up another paper with a ticket and everything, and she's like, okay, this is everything. Puts the box back under the desk, and she's like, okay, here is your ticket. You can take this to our supplies merchant. He's on the 3rd floor, and you can ask him for whatever supplies and stuff you want. Anything that you do get will be subtracted from the money that you make on quests until it's paid for. You won't make money off of quests, but you will be able to look at your ledger. And then this is your room. It's on the 5th floor, and it is environmentally built to withstand chemistry experiments and explosions, with a sealed door in case you try to murder yourself.
Is there any ventilation possibilities?
And she looks down and she reads the notes. It's like, yes, the room is sealed and does have ventilation, but we request that you do hit the switch on the door so it will let us know that you're actually doing chemistry, so we don't open the door while you're in there. We have some experience. Our merchants have some previous experience with guilds that didn't have their rooms sealed off properly. And she closes up the paper, hands the rest of the pamphlet to you with your ticket and your key to your room.
Thank you so much. You guys are amazing.
She's like, yeah, and you got in here for free. Big miracle.
Well, you know, I could guarantee I'm definitely going to be paying that off.
And she's like, I hope so. And she turns around and keeps working.
What's the usual fee? What's it, like 500?
1,000.
It's
About
1,000 gold
to get into a
enter.
guild on average.
Mm.
But having a guild really is a perk. That's why it's called the Chronicles of the Adventure Guilds. Give me a second. Chat is blowing up.
Oh.
He's like, "Come on, red shirt with a hat. I know you were seeing I know you were seeing videos. I think I'm going to fail my assignment. Thanks, by the way." And he's like, "If you help me out, I will follow you." Give him the chemical structure to xenon fluoride 4, and he will follow us.
I haven't pulled up
It
right
is your
here.
personal quest.
And that's it right there.
Okay, do you have a link? Email me a link and we can put it in chat. Or text me a link, or I don't know, whatever. But actually don't, just go to our Twitch chat and put it in the chat. He's gonna post it in the Twitch chat. You know my...
What am I doing?
I don't know. Your guy
Because
asked
you're
you
the
for
redhead.
chemical... He found a video or something he's gonna post for you.
I'm just some schmuck with a red shirt. You're the guy with the red shirt and the hat.
Yep. Okay, that being said, Barnaby, are you going to follow everyone with the king and everything?
I mean, I might as well.
Okay. So, Thane, you're knocked out. Carl, Monroe, you and Leona and John. John, you're still here, right?
Johnny boy!
Johnny's not here. Okay, Johnny's AFK.
No, John went the AFK again.
Okay. He should probably, like, mute himself when he goes AFK, that way we know.
He's not really big on Discord, from
Well,
what I gather.
We'll get him used to it playing on a
Yeah.
regular basis, but, you know, he might
Yeah.
come over, too, when he gets the kids to sleep for once. But I know how hard it is to get kids to sleep. I had 7 younger brothers and sisters.
She's bringing it up every weekend.
Not every time.
Almost every time.
That being said, as you all follow into the main hall, you're headed up to your chemistry lab. And as you all get into the main hall, the king sits down, the prince, Eric, sits down, and all the guards are standing around the table. The king takes up the head seat, of course. Shortly after, Rosu and Lady Hanashiro have been summoned in. The Turtle Warriors, the head merchants are all standing there. Those of you who are not leaders of the group stay standing. So John stays standing next to Barnaby, and you will probably stand over by Monroe, I presume, since he let you into the guild. Ezra, Barnaby, are you gonna stay
Yeah.
standing next to Monroe since he let you into the guild?
I can do that, yes.
The guy in chat says, "Wait, you guys are
I'm
real
sorry,
chemists,
I'm-
right?"
I'm sorry, I'm not
It's D&D, guys.
I'm standing have been playing with a pack of cards for the past 5 minutes.
Okay, so you're shuffling your cards and stuff. Okay.
Yes.
All right. That being said, the king sits down. He's like, "Okay, we just have a couple things to address here, quick, and I wanted updates on the guild. First thing, is just my own personal issue. I am the basic founder of this guild, and until you guys finish your mission, basically I have the highest word of say. After you finish your mission, the guild is yours. You can do what you like. But until then, since the guild is in my name, all its members should adhere to a certain level of chivalry." And turns to Monroe and knocked out Thane. He's like, "Is he asleep?" And Monroe,
Wake me
you
up and find out what happens.
and he turns to Samantha. He's like, "Do we want to wake him up?"
Can.
And
Might have a heap of anger until I see the king, but can.
Samantha looks nervous and says, "He didn't exactly want to come to this meeting. He has a thing elsewhere he needs to go do, and it's really important. We had to literally tackle him to get him here and knock him out." And he looks down and he's like, "Oh yeah." Looks down at his... He's like, "What day is it?" And one of the soldiers leans over and tells him what day it is. He's like, "Yeah, he can stay knocked out."
Do you really
he
send that
actually
link
does
to
need
him?
to go somewhere, but Samantha, you can hear this.
Do you really want me to send that link to him?
Yeah, send the link. Just put it in chat. There you go. That's our chemist there. That's all we can find for you, buddy. These aren't real chemists.
It's just literally a video of literally drawing the Lewis structure. That's
Yeah.
all it is, really.
Um,
And kind of explaining it.
Yeah.
That's all it really
it's
is.
actually a lot of fun stuff. It's actually a lot of fun to do the Lewis structures for stuff. It was actually a lot.
Okay.
Anyway, that being said, he's like, he turns to Samantha and Monroe, and he's like, in other words, a certain level of chivalry should be adhered to, which also includes chastity. And he looks at you and Leona kind of looks down and blushes. And he's like, in other words, we need to hold a couple weddings soon, or we need to break this party up a little. Leona looks over at you, unsure of what you're going to say.
I look at her and...
So, bye!
Oh,
Right
like-
Guy 9 says, "I thought you guys were real chemists. I thought you were experts." I'm sorry, guys. This guy's a level 1 chemist, and this guy is a level 2 chemist, and
level
this guy's a level
77.
77 chemist. But when it comes to the periodic table of elements, they're just basically out of high school.
Barely out of high school.
Okay.
I haven't gone to college yet.
So anyway, you and Leona.
Can I ask the king to walk out of the room for a second?
You can. You need to roll a charisma check.
I need to ask him, like, can I go outside and talk
you
with
want
Leona?
to talk to Leona?
Yeah.
Oh, you want to leave the room?
Yeah, that's what
Okay.
You said king leave the room.
Yeah, King leave the room.
Yeah, King, I need you to leave the room right now, buddy. We need to have a word.
Okay. That being said, he's like, "Yeah, go ahead."
Okay.
So, we'll follow these folks for a minute. You and Leona are basically in the hall outside of the Great Hall. She's looking at you waiting because you are the one that dragged her out here.
I don't understand what the hell
How do you
you're
feel
doing.
about this? The thing is, there's no one to actually roleplay for her, but...
I know.
I'll explain it later.
She's just, basically, until you find a girlfriend, we're just gonna have to NPC.
I have a fiance and she won't even do this with me.
We know what she's gonna say though.
Yes.
I'm just gonna have to run this like an anime. She's just gonna bashfully rub her hands together and she's like, "Well, I'm okay with it if you are."
As long as you're okay with it, though.
She's like, okay, and she jumps up and gives you a big hug, and she's somewhat crying, and she's happy, and are you both gonna walk back into the room now?
Yeah.
Okay.
No!
Oreos?
You cannot have any Oreos. Yeah, you can.
They're for everybody.
Yeah.
He brings them every week.
I try to bring them out. There's sometimes I don't. But
Okay. So that being said, the king looks at you as you both come back into the room, and he's like, well, I presume you have good news?
we will get married.
She's like, good job. Good old Will Smith Hancock. Good job. Okay. That being said,
No.
okay. You might want to stick that in the. You might want to stick that in the fridge to keep it from getting warm. We're gonna be here, for a few hours. I mean, it has been sitting out.
It's still pretty cold.
That
but
being said, he turns to Samantha and he's
just in
like,
case.
so I presume, and she just stops in mid sentence. She's like, yeah, I'll get him married here in a couple weeks. And he's like, keep it low key until then at least. And he's like, all right. Well, that being said,
Somebody wake me up.
Someone knock him out even more.
you may take a percentage roll to see if you wake up from being KO'd.
If I see him start waking up, I'm gonna tell everyone to get away from him, and I'm just gonna throw a knockout mist
I
at
rolled
him.
an 83.
You do wake up. You are groggish, and you slowly see that you are sitting at the main hall table.
I like. Can I knock him out again?
You may roll, since he's still sluggish coming out of being woke up. You would have to roll for an attack.
I'm gonna be throwing a knockout mist at him.
You're gonna throw a knockout mist at him. Okay, it's gonna hit everyone within a range of 4x4.
That's why I'm gonna tell everyone to move away.
Okay, you're gonna take an action to tell everyone to move away. Okay, Samantha.
I love you, Thane.
Samantha, he's like,
You know,
Here.
you made me late.
and she reaches
I'm gonna
over.
drive my sword through your fucking gut.
That being said, Samantha reaches over, takes the knockout potion from you, uncorks it, and it starts foaming out. It just makes him breathe it again. Roll a percentage die to see if you can resist being KO'd from the mist.
Why?
I feel like that's something like against my knowledge. Cause it's my
7?
potion.
A literal 7.
A 0, 0, and then
0,
a 7.
0, 7.
And I rolled a 33. I thought you were gonna do it. Nope. Samantha completely just
Chaos.
KOs you again.
You know, now
Good
you can
night.
say
Have a fun time.
I was gonna make this a positive. I was gonna say now it's James Bond 007.
He may be back. I don't know. Anyway, she's like, he's not gonna be happy when he wakes up. She corks back up the potion, since it just missed it out a little bit, and hands it back to you.
Oh, okay.
Take a -2 with that particular potion in the future.
Okay.
This is how chemists win in this game. By the way.
Role playing it.
Yeah.
Okay. That being said, the king, he's like, okay. Oh, he's back. Did you cool off?
No, I didn't, actually.
Probably heated up more out there.
I was gonna say at least now you can be called James Bond.
007.
High five to you.
Okay.
Oh man.
That
I'm
being
furious.
said,
I'm absolutely furious.
okay, at least you're smiling while you're furious. Oh.
You know those times whenever like you're furious and people say, "Hey, calm down," and you know, in the history of calming down, did nobody ever actually calm down from saying "calm down"?
Okay. That being said, the king says, basically, other than that, I just wanted to report on how things were going, how the guild is doing, how much money you're making, because it also incurs on how much I'm going to have to spend helping you guys out. I mean, you've got a lot of adventurers, surely you're making money on them signing up. And that being said, take a resistance check to not look down in a way when you do that.
You made no goal.
15.
Okay, you do succeed. So you basically hold your face and you're oblivious to the fact that you even have fault in that moment. It's okay.
Like,
That being said, Lord Rosu starts taking up conversation with the king, and it goes on and on.
How long does this knockout potion last?
You may actually. I was just getting back to you.
Oh.
You may actually roll a percentage die to wake up again.
I rolled a 6. It was actually a 98.
A 98. Okay, nice.
I walk in with an explosive round.
You killed me, why don't you?
Assassination! No, okay. I rolled a 13, so you do wake up, and you wake up quite quickly. You just snap out of it, and you're like, take a percentage die to not destroy the part of the table in front of you when you wake up.
34.
Yeah, you totally just, you woke up and you smashed the table in front of you, and you're angry and you're hulking out at the moment.
I stop, I look around.
Everybody's just kind of looking at you, the king, kind of leaning over, smiling behind his mouth, behind his hand. Good to have you back with us, then.
If you'll excuse me. I turn around, I open the door, and I slam it behind me, and I walk out the front gate. I walk straight to, I don't even stop. I just walk straight to the forest, and I pop a squat right where I was. And I just start meditating.
Okay. Is Samantha, are you...
I don't give a shit.
Okay.
Excuse my language, but I'm that angry.
She's following you, but she's giving you space.
What?
Oh, he's looking at Pang's tattoo. Okay.
What?
That being said, the business meeting goes on for a while, and things are caught up on. It seems like in the amount of time that the guild has been running,
Okay.
it's actually advancing quite quickly, as in leaps and bounds by the day. As the business meeting
I saw
finishes
that.
up, Prince Eric approaches you, and here's that short little man next to him.
so that I actually know this guy from the future.
The short little man.
No, that one guy, your character.
This is not him.
I thought you said it was him. Okay.
No, this is my character,
Oh.
the prince.
Okay.
Not
never
my
mind.
one-shot angel character. He's not even born. According to his story,
Tequila was
he's Katie's first character, Selena.
It's always
He
the
was
best
her
time.
daughter. He was her
I
son.
know, right?
That's where he
Blue
got
light
his
special?
training from,
What?
and all his
Blue light
chemistry. She
special?
married an angel, and they had
Blue
a
Light Special?
half angel kid.
Kmart?
That's where that story came from. That's why it was a one-shot, because she's not even gonna keep that character going anymore.
Lovely.
Anyway.
Whoever did that, not a fun time.
That was a homemade tattoo gun.
Oh God.
So is this one over here of Kmart.
Kmart.
Like I said, not my
Lots
best
here.
days ever.
Would you actually use an actual tattoo pen, or did you just use a needle and an inkwell?
You ever seen a present tattoo gun?
Yes.
made?
Oh
No,
my
I
God.
Okay, so if you
Those
can
things are
imagine
ridiculous.
if you can imagine a calculator with a pen attached, that's effectively what it is. Not exactly my smart days. Not exactly my sober days.
How
I
old are you again?
32.
Ah, so like this is when you're like 18 or something.
Yeah, pretty much.
21, sorry.
18.
19.
19, 18, 19, and 20.
This is story share time with the stream.
But anyway, I was working at this nightclub. Had a buddy of mine that played the drums, and I was in his band. I was playing the bass guitar. Not well, mind you.
I think we got into into story time.
We did sort of, and it's gonna take just one more moment. But effectively, I was already drinking Jack, and he came over with a bottle of tequila, and said, "Hey, we're kidnapping you for an all-night drinking party." I'm like, "Fantastic!" So we get over there, and he's like, "Hey, dude, I've got a homemade tattoo gun." I'm like, "Hey, dude, I've got a lot of free skin, and I'm just intoxicated enough to do this."
And so you did Kmart.
I did the Kmart myself. All right, while he was
You
like,
wrote the Kmart on yourself?
"Yeah, dude, I did not care." All right, I was drunk. I was lit.
Oh God. You were like Were you blackout drunk? Were you?
No, I was like aware enough of what I was doing, but not good enough on my judgment to
Oh, so you were like just behind blackout.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. And he was like, I gotta find my stencils to do this this tattoo for you. I'm like, I was searching for that. I'm going to town on my arm here. And of course, I'm not realizing that's gonna look like, crickets landed on, from my point of view, other people's gonna look weird,
Yeah.
And anyway, so he never finds them. He just starts going at it, right? Halfway through, not even halfway, I blew, that's whenever it starts to cut off on the ink, right? So
Yeah.
the rest has been steadily fading away.
Dang.
And that's the story of, I got the nickname Kmart from the nightclub that I worked at the time.
So that's why you did Kmart.
Yeah, and
This
the Blue Light Special.
This has been story time with friends.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That being said, Barnaby, Monroe, Leona, who's very happy right now, and you're upstairs with your chemistry set. Okay. Let's roleplay you for a little bit, since you have been doing your chemistry stuff and they're still in their meeting.
All right.
So, are you going to go directly to the room, or are you going to go to the merchant's floor on floor 3 and get some supplies?
Well, let's go see what the merchant has to say.
Okay. That being said,
Please.
everything is free in the guild
As long
to
as
a
we,
point.
you know.
It'll come out of your wages you get from making guild services.
Makes me
Yeah.
happy.
So, that being said, on floor 3, all the rooms in this section are labeled with different, things until they actually build an outer version of storehouses for this guild. They're just doing these in the regular rooms. So you see one for armor, weapons, medical supplies, and then chemistry supplies way down at the end.
I might need to go to the medical supplies area.
Okay.
What would be found in the medical supplies area?
Bandages, supplies for higher level healers, things that only healers themselves can use or know how to use.
Okay, so nothing like medicinal, right?
There is going to be medicinal stuff that chemists could use, yes.
Okay, that's what I was thinking of. Was eventually I might want to go there too. Maybe not this level, but anyway. So straight to the chemistry
Okay.
area.
As you walk through the door, it's unlocked. There's a guy sitting there with papers, unpacking crates and whatnot.
Apparently my
There's
dad texted
already
me.
shelves and stuff full
Look
of
at all that weird
vials, belts and stuff to hold tubes of chemicals, satchels, bandoliers for chemists to actually hold test tubes full of chemicals on, and all kinds of different apparatuses and whatnot. You would probably have fun in the chemist shop.
Is there a gas mask?
That one you'd have to roll a sense environment for.
Okay. And that would be a D12?
A D10.
They've been very quiet.
7.
A 7? You do find a gas mask. It's very rough. It looks old and used. But you do find a gas mask that looks like it may work, but it may need a new filter.
Oh.
And it's very, very primitive.
It's a very good gas mask. Alright, so I go up to the, I'm assuming store clerk, right? Or the alchemist
Tag.
clerk.
Mhm.
Hello. Male or female?
It's male.
Oh, good, sorry. I'm here for the chemistry set supplies.
He's like, oh, yes, anything that you want, just go ahead and bring it to the desks, and I'll tally up the total and everything, and I'll mark it on your account.
Sounds good. By chance, what are we looking at in the way of special order and something?
I could definitely do that for you. Is there anything in particular that you're looking for?
Why, yes. I tried to obtain them on my own from my previous town that I was in. I was hoping to get into more of an industrial amount of alchemy.
He's like, oh, so you need like larger vials, bigger apparatus, and tanks and stuff to hold chemicals in.
Pretty much.
Okay. Let's see here, and he reaches down in a
Philosopher's Stone.
book. He reaches
Don't
down.
tell people.
He reaches down, pulls out a book,
Are you
flips
really?
it open, and he's looking down a list of names
I just made a guess.
and people craftsmen who make specific things. And he's like, yes, actually. And he writes down a number on a sheet of paper. He pulls to the side, flips, close the book, and then reaches down to the edge of the window and opens up a small door that looks like it's been recently installed on the window itself. Reaches out and there's a little thing of pigeons mounted on the outside of the castle wall. And he opens up one, reaches in, grabs a pigeon, puts it on his shoulder. The pigeon just sits there. It's a trained pigeon. Closes the door, takes this tiny little scrap of paper, and writes down very meticulously the exact details of what he's looking for. And then he flips the paper over and he's like, alright, exactly what and how many?
Well, first we're going to need condensers, and then also we're going to need general storage for it. Also, I have a particular substance that I want to need help converting.
Okay.
Effectively, I have a way to actually use a substance that actually heat up everything, but I need to convert it from a semi-solid state into a more of a liquid or potentially gas state.
So you need, if you want to do solid, you're going to need an evaporator. If you're going to put it into a gas state, you're going to need a pressure tank.
Those two. Now, the major thing is that I need to actually be able to mass produce stuff. So, whatever, you're probably more skilled than I am. But effectively, I need to be able to do all different kinds of different chemicals for this. And the way the actual heating process for each tank, if it could be potentially used by the same substance as well, either liquid or gas, to fuel them.
And he's like, liquid would be possible, solid would be possible, but gas is going to be very difficult to do. I don't even know if there is a burnable gas yet. Never heard of that before. But he's like, but if it's possible, you'd need some kind of way to control the flow without actually.
What is a chemical compound of propane?
Don't know. Don't care right now. But you need a way to control the flow without igniting the entire system. He writes down some more notes.
Hey, Joey.
And, yes.
I think I'm gonna have to turn off
Just
that
carbon
off
and
here.
hydrogen.
I gotta get to Matt here.
Okay, we'll keep Barnaby on back. If he shows up anymore, then we'll role play him quick. And
Sure.
at least we get you into the group and everything. We can get you sent off next time.
3 carbon and 8 hydrogen. There you go.
3 carbon, 8 hours.
So.
Yeah.
It's not bad. I mean,
Have a good night, all.
have a good night.
Who was that?
That was our Barnaby, or Rogue, signing off.
Is John still around?
I don't know, John. Are you still there? I don't think he's come back at all.
Probably passed out.
We had to work night shifts last night.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he might be just taking care of his kids. In that case, I'll close Discord for now.
Alright. Well,
If he messages us or whatever, then we can do that later. But that being said, he writes down some new stuff, condenser.
Tangled up.
yeah, color your hair.
I brushed it before I came here. But
So don't you do that regularly? No, you have long hair.
yeah.
One of these
And
days, I'm just gonna take scissors. And find out what you look like with short
condenser.
hair.
Pressure tanks. Anything else?
Knock you out, strap you
Basically
to a
anything
chair.
to convert
call,
from solids to
what's his name?
the state of chemicals.
Yeah.
I'm tripping over my own words. Basically, those two things, changing from one state to
The
the
guy
other,
who
and then
received
also
Cuts hair.
being able to just make
Oh,
the actual chemicals themselves. So
call
we're,
him, like, get over
So
here with
you'll
your
need
haircut
chemicals
quick,
then.
but
Chemicals we
fast.
have. And
Have
he
him
motions
cut
to
your hair.
multiple different kinds of barrels made out of different kinds of things to hold liquids and solids and whatnot. But he just basically, you'd have to come down and ask for what you would want.
Make you look all
How about
cute.
herpetology?
Oh, what now?
How about herpetology? Any kind of plants or anything?
Plants and whatnot. Plants are in crates and whatnot across the room for different things that can be used for poisons and whatnot, depending on what chemists end up needing to make.
They're
Pretty much
talking nerd stuff.
Pretty much any. This is how you roleplay
Yes,
a
I know.
character. You guys are learning here from the masters. That being said, pretty much any plants that you'd need, on average, would be there. Something special would typically need to be ordered, but can be because they have a lot of connections as merchants.
Alright, so first we're going to need a substance that makes a blue color. And then we're going to mix them together and make blue sky.
Okay, so he's gonna you're basically looking for dyes.
No, not dyes per se. Changing my name.
What?
I'm changing my name again. We're gonna make crystal meth.
What?
He's trying to make crystal meth.
Okay.
Blue Scott, Breaking Bad reference.
Okay. Yeah.
Sorry,
Oh, okay. It's been ages since I watched Breaking Bad. So you're role playing the drug dealer out a little bit.
sort of like drug / poison.
Okay.
Serial killer.
Got it. Okay. So you're gonna be the drug dealer so you can murder people. Got it.
He's the poison.
No, I'm not gonna murder people. I'm gonna help other people murder people.
Oh, okay. Got it. So you're gonna be a supplier. Got it. Okay. So basically, in order to not make this guy suspicious of what kind of crazy person we just got, you basically can list off, random ingredients and stuff, and he'll add in, you will have to special order about 2 out of the 17 ingredients that you need, but the rest of them he has in store ready availability.
Sounds good.
So,
Now, is that for the knockout poison that I have in mind, or?
the rest of the supplies, if you want to do the knockout poisons and stuff, that's going to be typical adventurer / chemist supplies.
Sounds good.
I can actually probably teach him knockout mist
Yeah.
if he asks, but
That being said, and he's like, is there anything else you need to special order?
he wasn't there inside the room though with us.
No.
I used it,
No, he
so he
wasn't.
didn't know I actually know it.
I do look for supplies on the brick, the flammable brick.
Okay. All of those chemicals you end up finding in vials on the shelf and or labeled in barrels.
Okay, I'm looking for barrel-sized stuff.
Okay. You are able to find, there's 3 barrels of the main ingredient and 1 barrel's worth of the secondary ingredient.
All right.
Enough to make about 1 barrel's worth of product.
All right. I come back with the stuff and I say, do we have a way to hawk this stuff out, like sell it to people? Do we have any kind of supply chain order?
He's like, so you want to buy, make, and then sell it back through us?
Yeah.
It's like, well, if you end up providing something that can be really useful, yes, we can definitely put it in the market.
All right. Do I by chance have any kind of my finished product left over?
I believe you did have, I think, 1/3 of a brick of it left.
Okay. Yeah.
And okay, he looks at the pudding-like substance, and he's like, what does it do?
It burns for a long time. Do you have a?
You
tester?
remember how you showed it off before, right?
Yeah. Where I?
Slid it across the table and lit it?
Yeah.
You gonna do the same thing again?
Well, assuming that he's okay with it. I don't want to sit there and
It
freak
is
him
a
out.
metal table that he's got. It's got a metal surface. A lot of the things in this room are metal or stone so that they don't react heavily with the chemicals that they've got.
Okay, good. Like for the surface.
Alright. He looks at it and it just keeps burning and burning and burning. He's like, that is impressive.
Is it gonna stop?
He's like, how much of this do you think you could produce?
That's why I'm getting barrels.
It's like,
I
Good
can
point.
make a full
He
barrel.
starts taking notes down, and he's like, how much would you want for that particular brick per se?
How much can I get for it? Do you think? I mean,
He reaches down, pulls out an abacus, starts running numbers and everything on it.
now keep in mind, I do expect that you'll be selling it higher.
Stop making so much noise.
I do expect that you'll probably need to make a profit of it, and I'll get less than that. Totally okay with it.
Okay. He gives you a price that would put your profit off of it at about 15% profit for how much you put in to how much you put out. So you'd be making about 15% of whatever they sell.
Yeah.
Back out of it towards your own supplies.
Sounds good.
Okay, so 15% profit. He'll put it on your account along with the rest of your stuff. For when it sells, it will be credited to your account.
Alright.
That being said, he takes the brick. It is wrapped in, I guess, a wax paper substance, and he very carefully stores it in a metallic box and sets it aside.
Now that's also the brick that I was looking towards converting into a liquid, more of a liquid state as well.
Okay, so you'd have to make more of it in order to turn it into a gas. But
Yeah.
you would still need all the condensers to make the brick, and then from the brick to gas form, you would have to basically do from a liquid form before you condensed it.
Yeah.
If you could pull that off, if you could jump the step basically from turning it into a brick form, into a gas form, then you may be able to pull that off. But if you can't, you'd have to make a brick and then evaporate it.
Yeah.
So, that being said, was there anything else you were going to need, or is that pretty much it?
Basically it. I just enough supplies to get me started.
Okay. He writes it down, sticks it on the pigeon's leg, and literally
Aw.
throws it out the window.
Go outside real quick.
Okay. He says, should be about 3 weeks before you get that stuff back. It's going to take a while because it's all special ordered and very complicated. But that's going to the main merchant's dispersal center, and from there they'll send out everything, gather all the materials from different craftsmen, and then they'll have it all sent here. That being said, you're pretty much done there unless there's something else you do.
That's it. I'm going straight over to the room that I was told to go to and start setting up shop.
Are you going to examine the gas mask?
Yes.
Okay. That being said, roll a d20 on your examination.
So how far along are we? Is this after?
You're still out in the woods.
Okay.
It takes a while to walk out there too.
Yeah.
So,
Do I add anything or just straight die?
you can roll half your knowledge to it.
7.
7. That is barely enough. But you do find that it is actually a mythic crystalline level item. It does need some repair to its filter, but you could probably find the item or make it yourself if you tried hard enough. But when you did so, it would give you complete resistance to any gas forms of poison and or effects.
While I'm in the forest at that same tree that I'm always at,
Mhm.
I'm chopping it down.
With your sword? Okay. Roll a d20 on your attack on that one.
Roll 13 plus my 28.
Okay. You are able to chop it down. It takes you a while, but by the time we get back to your character, it'll be done. That being said, up to your laboratory.
Before I do go, that actually reminds me. Crystalline. What is our...
Oh, you
Possibility.
sure you're gonna ask him?
Yeah.
He looks at you and he's like, crystalline is a very difficult item to get a hold of.
Absolutely.
It is rather expensive, but we can get it.
When you say expensive, like, we're not looking
We
to
sell it.
experiment
We
with
sell
or-
it by the ounce, and it usually runs about. It usually runs about 600 an ounce.
So not so much on the experimental stuff right now, right?
No, you would want to. You would want to know what you're going to craft with it and be sure that you were going to craft successfully with this.
Yeah.
If you did buy crystalline. Otherwise, if you wanted to experiment with crystalline, you would end up having to go out and find it yourself in the wild. And then condense it yourself.
Alright, so I bring up the mask and say, is there any way I could get some help preparing this?
And he looks down, looks at the cranks open. It's not a modern one. It actually cranks open. Weird levers and stuff to undo the filter. Pulls it out. Looks at it. He's like, "Oh yeah, we have this." And he reaches in a box, pulls out a chunk of fiber, and gets a tool and literally cuts out, using the original as a stencil, and cuts out a new filter for it. Pulls out another case and rolls the edge of it in a liquid, sticks it on a pin, and lights a fire under it, kind of like a Bunsen burner, but it's just a solid base, and it slowly cooks the outer shell that was rolled until it's more solid. Takes it off and then sticks it in there, and that outer shell is kind of rubbery and sticky. It kind of seals it up, cranks it, closes it back up, and says, "That should take you good about 10 uses or so before you have to bring it back." And then he hands it to you and writes it down on your account.
Now, is it a full-on mask, or is it just for...
It just goes over the face. It doesn't cover the eyes.
Okay, I will need to find something then for the eyes and the rest of the head, just as a face shield.
Yep. You do have a face shield in your inventory.
And not for me.
Yep.
Alright, I head on back to the lab, start setting up shop, and getting things ready for whenever I actually need to go.
Okay. That being said, you and Eric and Leona are all approached by Prince Eric and the little old man who woke you up.
Okay.
And he's like, "Met this guy on the way in, and he tells me he has a bit of an adventure for you guys.
Oh, this again.
A quest I could send you out on. You interested?"
Thing is, technically they haven't told me already, but I already know what this quest is.
Does know.
You do know because of your knowledge from the past and the future. I mean, do you have time? That's the question.
Time right now is not on our side.
Alright. Well, in that case, I will send off some other adventurers to go ahead and get it started. In the meantime, we'll be here when you get back, because there are going to be multiple parts to this adventure, and you will probably be needed eventually by the time you get back. But it's a bummer to lose my favorite adventurers. And he walks away, the old man waddling back and forth as they're both walking away talking. So, that being said, you are free to do whatever you want. There's no more role play that I've got you locked down for.
He's still in, he's
Out
out.
in the woods,
forest.
chopping down a tree with a sword.
So,
So I need to talk to Leona.
Okay.
So I pretty much want to not really explain everything, but kind of brief over everything that happened.
Okay. Roll a charisma dice.
Oh, of course, a 2.
She does not believe you. She's humoring you, but she does not believe you.
What about Demon Claw?
You could try putting that on and seeing if she connects the memories to it, but it's a chance, and you may lose the memories if you take it off.
we already stated that if he takes it off and loses it,
Well, he would still have an. If he loses it, he would lose the memories permanently. If he puts it back on, he may ruin them back. It'd be a roll of dice.
I don't like that. Shoot. We know he's trying to leave, right?
You do.
So no one else knows that
He's
he's.
just been very evasive all day and very ornery.
So like he hasn't actually said he's about to go.
pissed me off.
He ain't about to actually leave.
No, he's currently out chopping down a tree, as far as you know. He might have left this already, as far as you know.
I'm gonna, cause like technically, no one has actually explained what the quest was.
Actually, the old man did it to me and to you. You were in the.
But we're back in the past even more now.
Yeah, you do remember it though. You did.
I
experience
remember it,
and you remember
but
it.
Leona hasn't heard it.
No, she has not heard about the quest yet.
So, I could say like I know this. This is what happened. He's gonna be leaving. He's about to go to his hometown. I already done explained that.
So you're gonna explain basically what's gonna happen in the near future.
Yeah.
And about the quest.
And I'm about to show her that it's about to happen.
Okay, so you're gonna basically go back to either me or to Thane and ask them, what they're gonna do?
Yeah.
You're gonna choose me or Thane? Because Thane you definitely have to go look for. I'm still walking away with Envision.
Well, technically, he knows where I'm at because he's followed me into the forest before.
He has, and he might know, but you have to do a knowledge check to see if he remembers.
That's true.
Yeah, but I'm gonna go to
Plus,
you.
you get a buff because of the.
Okay. That being said, your reapproach. You are you gonna holler out to me or just,
Yeah.
Okay.
Hi.
We turn around and he's like, "Yes."
I'm gonna start. I guess I'm gonna
Pull
explain
him
to.
to the side.
He's like, "Do you have time after all?"
Not for his quest, but I have something else on my mind right now.
So okay.
But-
So he comes back to you. Old man is just rolling his eyes and he's turning around and waddling all the way back. And he sits down on a bench at the side of the hallway and he's like, "This is too much for my old bones." And he's like, "Well, what is
So
it?"
I explained that. Well, I'm gonna. Y'all never told me about his quest, did y'all?
No, we haven't had time to speak about the quest.
And I explained to him what the quest was, and I look at the old man. Is that's correct?
And so you basically read off the short amount of story that the old man gave you in the past. And he looks up at you, very surprised. He's like, "Oh, you remember better than I do." Of course, I'm not very good at remembering. And Eric definitely looks impressed and leans over and he's like, "Exactly how did you know about this?"
And at that point, that's when I explain everything.
Said you went into the future and came back to the past, and he's like, "I see."
Now, she don't believe me.
And he's like, "I don't know about you, Leona, but I believe him 100%. Roll a charisma dice for Leona.
Can you explain what the
I got an 11.
life is?
She now believes
And
you.
somebody roll.
Okay.
So-
do, like,
She
you know,
trusts you as far as
can you
your
find out
knowledge
what
of the
the answer of
future.
life is?
You determine.
and they rolled and they rolled before you.
So,
and they're like,
They know that, but then I technically told them that Thane is going to die.
when?
But it's a long time in the future.
A long time in the future.
According to one source, 42. There's a reason why they went with 42.
So I thought he died on his travel to
I
his
think it was
house.
Some kind of programming language.
You wanted to go to Thane's house?
No, I thought to his travels he dies.
Or in a code
No,
line,
it's not that. It's not that.
So he's
narrow.
way past that, huh?
You did go 100 years into the future.
Oh, that's true. It did go 100 years into the future.
Not 10, not 20, 100.
Our illiterate chemist here, losing track of what numbers are.
Okay.
I'm still in camera.
But-
I'm gonna text John and just tell him.
So,
Yeah, make sure everything's okay.
have I done cutting down this tree yet? Those are my keys.
Sure.
I just
No,
sent.
actually,
Are you
no.
okay? We lost you. And see what he says.
It's going.
So,
Hmm?
I've asked the question already.
Oh, you chopping down. Okay, you're done chopping down the tree at this point. Eric and the old man eventually left, even though now that they've confirmed that you still don't have time to do the quest, even though you know
You know.
about it. And
Yeah.
they hand you. They said, keep an eye open for a messenger. He will send you details on the quest, so you don't necessarily have to come back when you're ready to do it.
Okay.
After I'm done cutting down trees, I come back to the castle and I start preparing my horse.
So you're just gonna leave the tree knocked over?
Yep.
Okay.
It was, you know what that, it helped me calm down a lot. That's the reason why I did it.
Okay. That being said,
A lot quicker.
Samantha is going to take a large chunk of it that you chopped out and keep it and take it back with her.
Oh, like one of the chunks that came off?
Yep.
I've actually whittled down one of those chunks. That's actually pretty cool.
That being said,
Yes, I know how to
as you go out into the
Yes, I do know
courtyard,
how to whittle.
I presume you're looking for things.
no.
Yeah.
Okay. As you're walking through the hallways, you finished up setting up what you have for chemist area. It is a bedroom / chemistry area. There is another sealed door off to a sleeping area and a washroom. But the
It's like,
majority of
don't
the room is designated for chemistry.
Yep. I want to make sure that the area is without knowing all the dimensions and everything right off the top of my head. Like for the condenser, the vaporizer, and everything.
This is a castle, and most rooms that you sleep in are going to be at least 20 feet tall.
Yeah.
And you've got enough
Damn.
where you would actually have to calculate a range for throwing stuff
Yeah.
if you did throw it in the room.
But,
So there's plenty of room to set up condensers, multiple stories of stuff.
But I do want to try and semi-plan around where I would have everything positioned in coordination with those. So something that may seem out of place, it's in somewhat preparation for those items as well. So kind of like
Strategize?
yeah,
Just
strategize.
moving tables and whatnot that are in the room. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Pretty much all of that is pretty simple to do, and if you want to email me a list of where you want stuff, I could send you a grid of your room if you wanted to, and draw it out for me or something if you wanted some time. You
Basically,
probably won't use it until next weekend.
Yeah.
So, but once you're all done with the planning and stuff like that, you leave your room again. You're kind of getting hungry, and you meet Carl walking through the hallway.
Carl, is this Carl?
Yes.
Monroe.
Sorry.
Okay, I'm still getting used to.
Thane Moss.
I know you're
It's-
Thane.
He's actually Thane, and his character is named after him.
Okay.
He did not name his character after himself, even though we still call him Carl a lot of the time. He's still Monroe.
In game.
Well, these days at work, I'm just gonna start yelling at you, going, Monroe!
I'm still gonna call him Carmen San Diego.
Did you ever see Carmen Sandiego as a kid? That was the coolest game show ever.
It really was.
Yeah, you would have a map of the entire world on the stage, and they would get all these different stages. They
Alright,
had
back to
do
game.
we'll talk about it later.
Yeah. So it's not so much as an insult; it's just reminiscing on that game. Just to
On
throw
our-
that out there, okay?
It's like you
Please don't take it the
reminiscing
wrong way.
about childhood movies like Sesame Street. We us older people reminisce about Carmen Sandiego.
Because I totally have remnants about that movie. Well, TV show, whatever it is.
It's actually coming out with a movie on that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That was my favorite show as a kid.
I
actually had a Carmen
All
Sandiego
right!
pillowcase. Okay, it was awesome.
moving
Anyway,
on.
so you meet in the hallway as he's heading with Leona out of the building.
How are you?
Tired as always.
Tired. Yes.
Give me
I'm
a-
excited.
Give me another sword.
Would you like me to accompany me to the new alchemy setup that I've got so far?
Sure.
It's still in its infancy, but I'm waiting on further supplies. Maybe we'll get better
Time
insight.
fluctuations between split parties.
So I'm assuming that you can follow me to the room with the alchemy set.
Nah, I'm just gonna walk away. No, I'm kidding.
Well, he is in a rush to get to Thane as well.
Rush. That's a loose term.
I'm gonna listen to him though.
Okay, so you do have a little bit of time, but you go into the room and he's got vials and stuff out of his pack. He's unpacked and stuff. He does have some tubes and stuff set up to actually do some pretty
Alright.
interesting in-house chemistry.
I also explained the condensers and other items that are coming in as well. Like, we're at more industrial strength and size.
That being said, the only thing that you don't know about that he shows you is the industrial idea of everything. Everything else, because you're level 75
7.
now? 77? Everything else is old school to you, to the point
I'm
where
level
everything
75.
he's talking about doing in his room, you can do in the field with a couple of vials and what you got in your pockets.
I'm humble in your presence.
Just saying, last week, well, actually, no, 2 weeks ago, I was level 340.
It was an interesting time jump where he gained the access to all the abilities that his future self had.
Every single ability.
To the point where he
Of
was
a
also
level
a multi-class.
340 in multiple class. Chemist, warrior, and healer.
Who do I have to kill? Who do I have to kill around here?
My
level
multiple strike, just my combo I could do with my character at that level, had it set up.
I had
I could do-
demon that had 4,000 health? Yeah, 4,000 health. And out of them two, whittled it down to like 40 HP in one turn.
Needless to say, I had a broken Nephilim character.
I had a broken boss that they still fucked.
So,
What show's there?
as it stands, the warrior class, before we did the patch update this last
It
weekend,
was live. It's recorded.
it was...
You can watch it.
There was a combo that I had designed in the game that was broken by accident. And basically, you could use special abilities as a warrior in consecutive course and then use his ultimate all-out attack. It would put him at maximum -6 AP, but the result was a potential of a few thousand damage in a single attack.
Yeah.
And it was broken, so I went back and I fixed it.
But I went ahead and used it while I could against the boss.
And my Nephilim Angel / form basically was allowed to sacrifice all HP into one single attack, and so I had all my stats pretty much stacked into HP. I would go unconscious to do it, which someone could revive me after that. But I basically went all out, and I was able to hit for about 600 in a single attack. It was fun.
I think he hit for like almost triple that.
Yeah, he was strong.
I was almost did about 2,000 damage.
I was playing a bard though, so a bard that can go all out angel it was fun to play.
Wait,
and it was fun
hold
to
on.
pick on him.
No, you only.
Did he have a tan trench coat on?
A what?
A tan trench coat.
No, I did not.
No, he's not
He's not
supernatural.
Castiel.
No,
That
I
would've been
don't I haven't even
amazing.
watched that TV show, so
I love supernatural.
I have a really hard time allowing myself to get pulled into cult following television shows. I mean, it took me years to get into Rick and Morty because people kept pounding me on it. Now I actually own all 3 seasons. That's why I don't get into cult following TV shows, because I
No.
end up buying them.
Now, keep in mind, it's a TV show. The reason why I say that is because I am aware that you are more studied on such matters. So that's why I say, keep in mind, it's a TV show and it's Hollywood.
Yep.
So things.
My sister watches it like crazy, so I have heard about it, and it's like, yay.
But 90% of the reason why I started watching that show was for one character, Castiel.
Okay.
More so on his acting style and his humor brought into it.
Got it.
Are they really getting off topic?
Yeah, we are going up.
Yeah, we are.
Well, let's see
Alright.
here.
So
So you finish up looking at all his chemistry stuff. You're not wowed by it, but you are intrigued by the fact that he's got industrial level chemistry in thoughts and turning it more into a way of making money rather than to just combat enemies, which you have primarily used it for in the past.
Yeah.
But you used to make money off of it when you sold small level chemistry stuff as a merchant style.
Yeah.
But,
And I racked the money in.
didn't go so well, and that's why the business failed, and you got had to leave your wonderful eastern or western snow wastes of a home to flee from giants and war. So, that being said,
Where am I at this point?
you are coming back into the courtyard, and you head off looking for Thane. Presume you're going to be in tow. Keep the party together.
Is that you better keep the party together?
If I have to DM 2 parties all the time instead of keeping you guys all in one party, that's going to be a pain.
You know what? John was actually saying that he wanted to go off and look for specific types of fighting styles on his own. And I wanted to, go over here and talk to this guy about, different alchemical. I'm just
You
going on and on.
definitely, if these guys head off on an adventure, you could definitely research that stuff as you're traveling across the known world.
That was me making a terrible joke. Like you just said that you didn't want us splitting from the party, and I was going on like.
I hate you.
That's why I went there, and I'm sorry.
if that's gonna be the case, get out of here. I'll meet you guys on
I'm
Friday
going-
nights.
I'm going with the group.
Okay. Okay. That being said, John caught up with you, and he's role playing, following behind you. He probably went to sleep or something. I don't know, because he didn't even respond back to my text. So,
Oof.
but
It's okay.
Why are you shaking your dice?
I'm bored.
Hallucination.
that being said, you go out into the courtyard because obviously you remember him like stopping off and leaving. And as you walk into the courtyard, he's coming in from the outside.
Hold up. You can, you're kind of metagaming, even though you are the DM. He has to choose where he goes from where he stands.
Well, he said he was going to look for you.
Just because he says he was going to
You
look
do
for
remember that he left the building. You're going to leave the building looking for him.
Do I remember that he left the building?
Yes.
Okay, well then yeah.
You're giving him too much leeway.
Roll a
You're
knowledge.
giving me, you're not
Roll-
giving me very much leeway. No, not knowledge.
You're
just,
the rogue in the group.
I'm not the rogue, I'm the warrior that wants to do what I want.
14 plus my knowledge of.
Okay, you would have automatically remembered that he has a spot out in the woods that he likes to go to.
Hmm?
Would you go outside and look at that area?
Yeah, I'll go
Okay,
that way.
so as you leave the building to go look outside, he's walking in the front gate.
Okay.
We're all
Alright.
caught up to speed on time now.
Okay.
That being said, you got Barnaby following John around, and John following you, and you following him. So you got a big party of people all walking out of the front gates to the point where they went ahead and opened the big doors just because they saw such a large party coming through. They're like, open the big doors. Okay, and you walk out into the courtyard. Here comes Thane and Samantha riding on his shoulders as usual. He's calmed down now.
I'm walking straight to the stables to ready my horse.
Okay. Are you going to follow?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm not going to say a word to him.
Okay.
I'm immediately going to start saddling my horse, making sure the straps are tight, making sure I have enough supplies, make sure the tents are ready, make sure that I have a small amount of wood for fires.
Basically, you're setting up
basically.
all your supplies and stuff. Most of that stuff for travel is sitting there available from one of the merchants. That being said, Samantha leans over and says, "Let me go get our bags and double check that they're packed properly." And she gives you a look because you never pack the bags properly.
I pack my clothes! For
Roll a
crying out loud.
d6.
A 1.
You pack the bags right one time. Every single time. Other than that, I have always had stuff missing.
So it's probably in my bag.
And why was it in your bag? And she doesn't even wait for an answer. She just walks away to go get the bags.
Whatever.
Because that's Samantha. That's what she does.
She has to pack her bags, I only pack mine.
You'd be surprised at how good she is at packing bags quickly. So,
Cause
I
well,
remember
usually,
the last time I had a girlfriend. She didn't last long. I feel for you.
You killed her.
What? Why did you say that? She mysteriously disappeared.
She mysteriously disappeared. That's called murder, my friend.
According to who? That hasn't been proven yet.
You have like a 3-layer? Yeah, it's like 3 layers.
Oh, and your glasses?
Yeah.
I'll need to get new glasses. Anyway. Anyway.
Sorry, I just missed lessons. Sorry.
Stuff is starting to get packed up and everything. Are you going to start packing your bags and just follow him, or are you going to talk to him, or what?
Wasn't the king to send us on that quest to follow him? Or that's
He
different
did in
now?
the past.
But it's different now.
It's different now. He had to argue with the king
Sure.
before on whether or not he was going to leave. Now, the king isn't even going there. He does remember, the king recalled that he does have an issue about this time of the year that he needs to go take care of. So now the question is, are you just going to follow him? Are you going to ride with him? Or are you going to talk to him, or what?
Did we ever tell you what it actually was?
Nope.
No?
Nope.
So you have no recollection of
This
any of
is where he is totally clueless at this point.
Of why you're going there.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I'm gonna walk up to you and ask you, why are you going back to your home?
How do you know I'm going back home?
I have my sources.
Sources. I shrug them off and I just keep doing what I was doing.
He obviously doesn't want to talk about it.
Please know I will be following you. Unless you truly want me not to.
It is a personal matter. I would
But-
preferably to go by myself, like I always do. I would be back in due time. But if you do wish to follow me, you can.
I would wish to follow for your protection.
My protection.
For your protection.
Okay, Puff. Is there murder involved?
No.
I have no interest in following you.
Okay, who say here?
Well,
Are you following him?
you do realize that traveling across the
following him.
world, there could be instances where you do need to murder somebody or kill something at one point. You
Okay,
could suggest
so-
this to him. Since he obviously needs some field experience, and you know he needs some field experience.
Wait!
You're coming with.
Chemist. I don't know his name. Jack.
Jack, John, Jackie John,
Dorothy.
Dahmer,
Dahmer. Jack.
Dexter.
Dexter.
I'm gonna have to speak with that pseudo-German accent now.
Well, though, you're still very new to all this, aren't you?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
That's why I need to murder.
Well, it's not murder, it's defense. We are going to
Murder,
be traveling
defense.
for a good amount of time. And if you want to tag along and gain the experience of combat, please join.
By
Killing
combat
things.
experience, you mean murder.
Yes.
Technically, yes, but not the same thing.
And
Murder.
Scythe is going to just pop out from the top of the roof. You know how he likes to hang down and hop in conversations. He's like, I thought we weren't supposed to unjustly take life.
Or not.
But you just said murder.
Yes,
He
murder.
says murder.
I see it's a point of view. Okay, bye. He just pops away again. I love that Scythe character. I get to use him so much.
Look, I don't care if it's self-defense or if we're actively trying to kill them.
What's your character look like and build again?
Vaguely similar to Call of Duty zombies. You know,
Oh, very skinny, very kind of like a foot smaller than most people.
No. The other doctor.
Oh, the actual doctor.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Rittenkoff. I think.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you see him in the
Yeah.
the one scene he's
The
cutting
mad
open-
scientist. Yeah.
Yeah, he's cutting the zombie open and everything, and he's just sitting there like, look at what I've done. You know,
You mean Richtofen?
we're talking. Yeah.
Okay, I've never played that game, so but as long as you
I
two
know.
understand what each other looks like and the chat knows what each other looks like.
A better description for you. Have you seen
He kind of like he's like a general. He's a mid build just like a foot shorter than I am. He just doesn't do much.
Have you seen X-Men, Days of Future Past?
I don't know.
Okay,
Describe an X-Men to me, and I will probably know who it is.
it's Magneto's younger character.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
I know.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Okay, I got you.
It's
like that.
Magneto's younger self.
I saw Apocalypse. He was in that.
Yeah. Effectively the same, except for the sake of like chemistry. Like, you know, you could see, if you could imagine him, like, you know, whenever he's in his chemistry set, you know, doing stuff like
Lab
Well,
lab coat, very very ruggish. You know, like he's been in there for hours. You know.
Definitely could see him as a professor. Got it. Okay. So
anyway,
he's inviting you to gain combat experience in the wild.
and he keeps saying the word murder. So I turn to him.
Turn to him then.
I'm trying to think of the word. I'm trying to say.
Mark.
I give him, I don't know, a stern look, it basically gives you a look of just anger and intimidation, basically.
Murder. Murder people.
I'm gonna pick him up and put him against the wall and say, if you murder somebody, I will end your life on the fucking spot.
But if it's self-defense, it's perfectly acceptable.
If they attack first
That's what I'm
and
saying.
can effectively kill you.
Mm-hmm.
That means no women, no children.
What if it's a crazy psychopathic child?
You're on your own, man.
Like I said,
His
murder.
arch enemy.
Yeah,
You
it's
should
not-
mention your arch enemy to him.
Do you realize that there's an 11-year-old psychopathic girl?
7.
after me? 7.
7-year-old.
7-year-old girl after me.
Why?
You killed her dad.
Did I?
You killed too many
No,
people. Abby.
John killed her dad. You cut him up and sold his bones.
That's right.
Wait, what?
It was Fight Club.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Remember the
my
bodies
God.
that you know.
We killed? Oh my god! What?
Oh, I almost passed out.
You did what with the bodies? You did what with the bodies?
You killed them.
I didn't really.
You helped.
You helped load them up in a cart and cart them away to his
I
house.
thought you were taking. Oh. I didn't
I
know they
made
were
money
going.
off of that.
I didn't know you were gonna cut them up and sell their bones. I thought you were gonna take them to like a cemetery or something.
Who does that?
Normal fucking people.
Do I look normal? Have you heard about me?
I was just gonna drop them. I'm gonna saddle. Is somebody at the back?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna saddle the horse. Oh, I'm gonna get on the horse, and I'm just gonna ride away from them.
You technically don't have horses, but since you're part of the guild, if you saddle a horse and take a horse, no one's gonna care.
Sounds good. Buddy.
That's gonna take me some time. I can't believe you.
It was one of their quests. It was a shady group of people wanted bones for science experiments. The
Hey,
source of the bones was
my
not
friend.
important.
I'm here to help. Let me help you.
This doesn't mean you cut up their bodies and you sell their bones. Families.
That's what it means.
They're families.
The kids are not my fault. She needs antipsychotics. That's not on me. That's on her therapist.
Can I like punch him? Just shove him?
You already got on your horse and you started riding away.
I'm gonna turn around and yell, "Shut up!"
I try and settle up as quickly as possible and try to catch up to him.
Alright, roll a d20.
Roll 6.
Okay, he's gonna be on the horizon by the time you're able to get back on your horse.
Jesus.
You will still be able to follow him, but you're slow setting up a horse.
Okay, I'm gonna actually try. Do I?
You get your horse.
Well, the thing is,
The
I'm gonna
guys
make sure
there.
I have all my supplies,
You carry everything with you.
even like food supplies and everything.
It would be on the
Leon
horse.
has got you
I'm
covered.
sorry, I thought
Okay.
you knew.
I didn't. I
I really didn't. That's why I'm so surprised. I really had no idea. I was like, okay, Fight Club, let's go. These guys trying to kill us. We killed them in self-defense. I didn't know there was murder allowed.
Hey, they were dead.
At that point, it's just, you know.
Hey, you were helping kill the guys, remember? You were up there right next to Ryodoc.
But I was using my. Oh, I wasn't using my fist, was I? Yeah, I was.
Yeah, you had your sword and shield.
I had my solar shield, but
I remember you knocked a guy down and you,
Right,
John literally jammed the nose of two of them up into their skulls.
Oh,
and you
yeah.
stabbed the other one with a sword.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that now.
No, he actually like cut off their heads, didn't they?
I cut off one guy's head. Yep.
Just
Oh, and I
for-
had a skull for a while. What is wrong with me? Why is all this just now coming back to me?
That's right. You just had that skull dangling from your side, like
Yeah.
Take that.
Speaking of which, is still in your possessions, but it's up in your room, tucked in a drawer, because Samantha doesn't like looking at it. But she doesn't dare throw it away because she knows you're attached to your things. Roll a knowledge check.
Oh my god, I didn't even realize that. I rolled a 2.
You suddenly remember your skull up in your drawer up there, and you're just sitting there, kind of shuddering.
That is hilarious.
And it takes a moment. You stop on the edge of the horizon. You have to stop to compose yourself, and it gives John and everybody else a chance to catch up to you.
I did not know that. I really didn't. I guess I was oblivious that day because I was just chatting with John.
See, there's a lot of stuff that I know is going on behind the scenes that you don't know
Yeah,
about.
that's true. I guess I just wasn't paying attention to him. Alright, on that note, I'm pretty sure it's a good stopping point.
It's 12:11, yeah.
Yeah, I'm tired.
So everyone is literally sitting on the horizon, on their horses. The sun is high in the sky,
We're
and
beginning our travels.
everyone is beginning their travels. You are literally going to be mid-adventure next game.
Woo.
So thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed, hit that like button, subscribe, share.
Catch Jack in here quick. Yeah, we're gonna quit for the night because he's wigging about killing someone's dad, and you're all standing on the horizon. You, because he had to stop and compose himself after realizing that he's still got that guy's skull up in his bedroom in a drawer because he saved the skull.
You kept a trophy? I did.
I think that's the first time he actually
And he
like.
forgot about it.
I did.
So basically, he sits on the edge of the on the horizon long enough for everybody to catch up, and we will all pick up next Saturday night.
Have a good night.
I'm sorry, I thought you knew.
I did. And wait, is it the girl's school? Is it the girl's father's school?
I don't know. We'll just have to figure that out next time, because you might have a 7-year-old arch nemesis.
She doesn't. No, she's never met me. She's never met